I've got an itch I can't scratch, I'm missing a piece that completes a whole part of me, an open wound scar to see. Everybody come here, gather round, welcome to the freak show, the best in town. What the hell's wrong with me? I don't get along with anybody, honestly. I've been living in my own head constantly, thoughts jumbled round, think I need a new lobotomy. Wait, all these thoughts are too negative, I don't wanna get lost in the sedative. Gotta show them what I got, I'm competitive. You know I'm about to go.
Hey guys, welcome back again to Dave's Dimension. Welcome back again to Tuesday Night Talks. I just switched out my mic, sorry guys. But we're back again, and we got a lot to talk about, guys. We have a lot to talk about. There's been some leaks, there's been some streaks, and we need to talk about some breaks. So let's go ahead and pull up the chat, as always, guys. First and foremost, you guys know what this is. This is Dave's Dimension, Tuesday Night Talks, every Tuesday, 8 p.m. Eastern. It's an open stream. It's a hangout stream. There's no scripts. There's no agendas. There's no filters. There's no sermons. It's just a hangout session. Nothing but opinions. So bring them in. And by the way, guys, if you go into the description below, you will find a link. So if you want to jump into the stream, join the conversation on camera with me, it's right there. So just go ahead and hit the link and jump right on in. Of course, we got first person in, Ultra Carzilla, talking about some of his acquirements, his new pickups that arrived today in the mail. Let me just fix my volume a little bit. There we go. He got mail from both Rogue Toys and Wheeljack Labs. Received his late birthday gifts from them, and it consists of Jazzware Halo stuffs, of course. Very cool, very cool. More Jazzware Vault. Finally received his 3 of his Halo ODST troopers. They will look badass for my future Halo Jurassic Park World photos, reels next year. There you go. Look out for that. In last week's late birthday packages from Nerdzoic, I finally received my classified retro beachhead, and I received my FAL rifle from Thantos Unlimited, and the retro beachhead will be perfect. Awesome. Those are awesome news. Glad you got some very cool stuff for your belated birthday. Let's check in the chat right here. Oh, we got David's Life. Hey, been sick with a new variant of COVID. Fun times. Ooh. Oh, I hope you start feeling better, David. Everyone's saying hello to David's Life. Yeah, that's been watching I Love Lucy all day. Hey, it's the good shows that make us feel better, man. So, I wasn't going to bring this up, but Ultra Carzilla is not the only October birthday. It's true. It's true. Today, 46 years ago, this thing was hatched. Yeah, today, October 15th, is my birthday. Birthdays for me, I love celebrating other people's birthdays, but birthdays for me personally, it just feels like another day. It has to do with how I kind of came up, how I grew up. I worked a lot on my birthdays, so for me, it's, it is what it is, but I love celebrating other people's birthdays. I'm just weird that I'm just wired differently, But I don't know how many people were really going to get in today because it's kind of crazy. The weather's here in Western New York, the weather is funky as hell, like you wouldn't believe. But, and also YouTube lately. I mean, I think it's more people are doing stuff with their families. I know a lot of tubers who their streams have kind of been up and down. And, honestly, things for this channel have been very up and down lately. We've been losing watch hours like crazy. I'm trying to record new content, but even last night I had difficulties because I was trying to do a video on T-Mobile, and their website was not cooperating. So stay tuned. Hopefully I'll have that video up sometime soon, guys. But if you notice, I got Ghostbusters stripes going on in the background. I got hazard striping here. If I take away my camera, there you go. We have Ghostbusters to talk about, guys. Ultracar saying happy birthday. Thank you. Duff Man's Diorama. Duff, how are you feeling, man? I know you're doing the move. How's your health been doing with the move? I know, moving things cannot be easy, so I hope you're doing better, man. Ultracar saying hello, Duff. David's Life doing the congratulations. Thank you. There you go. Everyone's saying hello to everybody else. Now, I was hoping to not dive directly into the Ghostbusters stuff. So I have some show and tell. Now, this past weekend, Nickel City Con here in Buffalo, New York, we had our first fall edition of Nickel City Con. Of course, I was there with the group I'm a part of, the Buffalo Ghostbusters, one of the many charity cosplay groups in Western New York. We had a great time at the fall edition, the first fall edition of Nickel City Con. There were a lot of cancellations. It was a thing. There were cancellations like Gates McFadden, Dr. Crush from Star Trek The Next Generation, Austin St. John, the Red Ranger, and a whole host of others. There was a few people who canceled. Bam Margera, among, Gold Dust, Dustin Rhodes. He canceled. So, yeah, there was quite a few. He says, doing okay, fell and bruised my knees on concrete, but other than that, I'm doing great. How's the new place doing, Duff? Are you getting all your collectibles set up yet, or are you taking your time with that? I'm curious. Just checking our Instagram groups. Hold on one second. A friend just had some bad news, so I'm just messaging them back. Duff, I hope the new place is doing well. Changes are never easy, whether it's life, your physical body, your mental state, or all the above. So, let's take a look at Dave's show and tell. Now, this past weekend, I got the wife a very nice Ghostbusters themed purse that lights up, pretty damn expensive, one of those swanky jobs. That's going to be a future Christmas gift for her. But we went and did a lot of autographs. Now, there's this one company called Icon. They do certified autographs, and or you can just buy them outright, or you can buy mystery boxes. And that's what I did. I got a couple mystery boxes. So let's go through a little show and tell here. So yeah, I got, yep, I got a Twi'lek from Return of the Jedi. There we go. We got Dre of the Collector's Safe Space. My brother from another mother, unlike any other, saying hello. Thank you for popping through. Oh, she already knows. She knows, David. She knows. Dre is working right now, but he's creeping. He's a lurker. So, yeah, I got this. However, many of these autographs are not exactly in my collecting style. So, if anyone out there sees an autograph that they might be interested in, message me. And I am willing to work out. I'm not trying to make a buck. We got a couple mystery boxes, and they're just not things in my collecting repertoire. So we got some anime. So there's that. If you're a Pokemon fan, that's right, Veronica Taylor, Ash Ketchum. We got an autograph right here. Duffman said, sold 70% of my collection, downsized big time. I know you weren't exactly psyched about that, but I get it's a necessary evil for you. It really is. We also got a few wrestling photographs, little wrestling autographs. So if anyone is interested, again, just message me at Dave's_dimension. Let me know. I am hoping to get maybe $20 for any of these, or I am open to or best offer. So we got a couple of these. Very cool. I just don't collect wrestling. I'm a wrestling fan, but I just don't collect wrestling, and I really don't collect anime. So, this stuff is, they're very cool. They're in amazing condition. They're just not in my collection. This one, however, we got John Glover, aka Lionel Luthor from Smallville, aka Riddler from Batman the Animated Series, and just about everything else. Gremlins 2. Was it Fear the Walking Dead he was on? Hell, he was even in a little commercial in the beginning of RoboCop 2. He's been in everything. This one was very cool. I'm a big fan of Boondock Saints. Sean Patrick Flannery. So I got him, and he did a little crosshair autograph. And not only that, where's the phone? I did a combo. His was very cool. We did a combo with him where it was $40 for an autograph or $60 you get the autograph and a selfie. So that was kind of a no-brainer. Let me see if I can pull it up here. There we are. Very cool photo with me and Sean Patrick Flannery. Awesome actor. He's been in so many different things over the years, but he's definitely getting up in the age. But he also confirms there is a Boondock Saints 3 coming. I asked him and said, so I've been hearing that there's a Boondock Saints 3. He says, yeah, it's happening. We're hoping to film possibly this winter or next year. So I'm like, awesome. How much for the Boondocks? I'm not giving the Boondock Saints is not for sale. Sorry, but it is not for sale. That I'm keeping. This one was on purpose. This is one for me. But everything else, with the exception of John Glover, the wrestling, the anime, and the Twi'lek from Star Wars, everything else is up for grabs. However, this one I saw, I could not pass it up. $60. Ernie Hudson, Ghostbusters 2 poster, signed. That was a done deal. That was a done deal. It was not going anywhere. And I also bought some art. It's weird. The past couple cons I've gone to, I haven't bought physical collectibles, well, with the exception of the Marty McFly Funko Pop. That's autographed. Other than that, trade. Stuff is like trade. I mean, that depends on what are we trading. You and I talked about a piece of collectibles. I don't know if you have that in hand or if that's been completely sold off, but I'm open to discussions. Now, there's this great local artist by the name of Shad Nowicki. He makes these amazing arts. He takes scenes from movies and he does his own painting, his own illustration of them. So I got this one right here. Obviously, the rooftop scene from Ghostbusters 1. This is one of his prints, and he did autograph it. He does these amazing things. Since you mentioned wrestling, I stopped collecting wrestling figs back into 2020. I'm slowly getting back into them, but I will just pick the ones I'm interested in. Example, Batista. Well, Duff, message me if you still have them in hand. Let me know. Okay. And speaking of which, this is one of his more recent acquisitions. Yep, Doc and Marty from part 1, when the DeLorean disappears for the very first time. So I got this and I got this. And I'm also going to, now if you notice, I do have his business card. So I'm going to have links for this in a future video. or I'll throw links in this stream after I'm done with it. I'll edit it and I'll throw the link in there. But he does amazing art from various movies and TV shows. Just amazing. And this goes perfect with the Doc Brown I got. And that's actually, that's the only birthday gift I got this year was Doc Brown was actually courtesy of Mrs. Dimension. Is the Back to the Future for sale? No, it's not. I just bought it. David, I just bought it. It is not going anywhere. But I will have a link to his website. So if you want to buy this or you want to buy your own prints of this, you can go ahead and do that. He has everything from Mac and Me to, I mean, you name it. Flash, like Flash Gordon. He's got everything. So he's a very talented artist, just an amazing person. Very good prices, by the way. But wait, there's more. I also got a Wolverine and Deadpool, and it says coexist. Got that for Mrs. Dimension. But I got this very badass Batman Beyond art. And this other artist, Ghostbusters meets Avengers. You can't get any more cooler than that, guys. Okay, we got a Ghost Hulkbuster right there. So those are going to be hung up very soon. But most of the autographs are up. If you call now, you'll get, if only. So, excuse me one moment. Again, my asthma's still acting up. Change of weather and all. We had a ton of rain this weekend. Now, I'm going to reach out to a few people. I was hoping we would have a few people jump on the stream, but everyone seems to be engaged or, doing something else, or maybe watching other streams. God knows there's better streams in here. So let's get into the meat and potatoes. You know the meat and potatoes. There was a leak this week. There was a leak yesterday morning to midday. There was some Ghostbuster news that got leaked. Let me fix this camera. There we go. There was some Ghostbuster news that got leaked, guys. And I was really tempted to do a stream tonight, yesterday night, last night, Monday night. But one of my friends said, hey, I would really love to discuss it with you. So I decided to push it to Tuesday night. They have not responded, so I imagine maybe they have family stuff going on, so they're not available. I'm checking one more time. Yep, no response, so we're just going to go ahead and move forward. Yep, no response, so we're going to move forward. So, Hasbro. The Hasbro Haslab was supposed to be announced this upcoming Saturday, and it's still going to happen. Let's be honest, it is still going to happen. Let me actually do this for a second, guys. Rolando Flores, the multiversal moderator. He is driving but listening. Yes, I have a moving desk now, so we're going to go ahead and sit down. We're going to chillax for a little bit. Don't mind, I have some stuff I need to ship out. That's why I have boxes behind me. Dre's boat is right there. I need to package that up for him, along with a couple other items. But it's story time, kids. So let's go ahead and just start the news. So like I said, Hasbro, yeah, I'm wearing a Back to the Future shirt. You know it's my thing. I love Back to the Future. And Doc needs a Marty. Hopefully I'll be able to get a Marty soon, sometime in the near future. Wink, wink, pop, pop, fizz, fizz. Oh, there we go. The man, the myth, the archer himself. Nerd affiliated. Speaking of the Ghostbuster Haslab unveiling, supposed to happen this coming Sunday, or not this coming Sunday, but this weekend at New York City Comic Con. And if anyone out there is looking for the best coverage imaginable, you want the latest and greatest news from the floor of New York City Comic Con, look no further than Nerd Affiliated. You got Hey Archer, Ramblin' Nerd, and the rest of the crew are going to be there. I think with the exception of Sal. I think he said Sal maybe, and I could be wrong, Steve-O. I'm not sure if those guys are going, but you're at least going to have Ramblin' Nerd, Anthony, and of course, Archer. Nerd Affiliated himself, El Presidente, El Jefe. They will be on the floor at New York City Comic Con. And in fact, Ramblin' Nerd dropped a very cool video because he's not doing the same cosplay each day. He's doing a different cosplay. He's got a very cool Spider-Man cosplay. It does come with a parental advisory. Do not try this at home. He is a trained professional, guys. Let's see. I'm just going back up to chat here. Everyone's saying hello. Good to see you, Rolando. It's always great to see Rolando Flores, the multiversal moderator, the guy who's in every stream, past, present, and future. Streams that haven't even happened yet. He's already been in there. That's who he is. It's who he is what he does. Saying hello to Archer. He says, Duffman, my Dio survived the move. Awesome. Duffman makes some of the best stuff around. I have my Hook and Ladder 8s on a lower partition right now, but I'm planning on redoing my shelving here. Okay. I plan to get rid of these bookshelves, and I plan to do the garage shelves like I did over off to the side here. And then I'm going to redo my Back to the Future selection so you can see my Back to the Future on the back wall. You're going to see the Ghostbusters prominently displayed. You'll see my packs. You'll also see the unbelievable diorama, which Duffman, I cannot wait to pair with. There's a certain thing I'm going to be getting, and it probably won't be coming out for like another year and a half. But when I do have it, it will be Chef's Kiss. It will be. Oh, yes, it will be mine. Let's just catch up here. Everyone's saying hello to Nerd Affiliated. There we go. Now, Archer, are you... now, I know you are traveling to New York. Is there going to be a Thursday night stream this week? Or is someone going to be filling in your shoes? Like, is Sal or Anthony or someone going to be doing it in your place? I'm curious. Inquiring minds want to know. Nervili says, hey Archer, Rambling, Steve-O, and our friend Louie. So, okay, so you're going to have the fearsome foursome right there. Nice. So Sal's going to be staying behind. Okay. I'm sure probably work, life, and everything else in between. Millennium Workshop, Rex and Effects. The original rump shaker himself saying hey to Hey Archer. Oh my. Ultra Carzilla saying, I will be joining General Kenobi's bunker live at 9:30 tonight, which is interesting given he usually live streams on Wednesdays. Hey, sometimes it's good to shake things up, jump on a Tuesday. Tuesdays, I mean, it's starting to get a little bit busier on Tuesdays. You got to change things up. I mean, hell, with the news that dropped yesterday, was I going to wait till Wednesday or something to try and do a stream or a video? No. I mean, pushing it to tonight was kind of a big deal, but hey, we're here. We're making it happen, Captain. Oi. Ooh, brother. Ooh. Rolando just sent me a picture of traffic. Brother. That's terrible, man. Jesus. That is. There you go. More of a close up. Jesus, look at that traffic, guys. God, man. I'm sorry, bro. Hopefully we'll be entertaining enough for you. I hope. So if you guys are looking for something to do later tonight, 9:30, go ahead and check out Kenobi's Bunker, General Kenobi. And when you go in, you just gotta pop in and say hello there. No, not planned for Thursday. Okay. I don't know. Maybe somebody will I don't know. Maybe someone will try and do a stream on Thursdays. On this Thursday. Maybe someone will try Spirits Unleashed since they got new skins coming out. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. They're affiliates saying, hey, Rex. I'll try to hit your link later for a couple minutes after work. No worries, man. No worries. I am going to start talking about it, but we can bring it back up once you pop in because I definitely want to hear your thoughts and opinions on it. Okay? I definitely want to hear your thoughts. that David, that's the traffic where Rolando lives. Okay. Nerd Affiliate says, Sup Dre. Everyone saying hello to everybody else. Rolando dropping a link to General Kenobi's Bunker. So go ahead. If you're looking for something a little bit entertaining, go ahead and check out Kenobi's Bunker. He's got the latest and greatest when it comes to Star Wars news and just con news in general. So please go ahead and check him out. Yeah, Dre is working right now. Dre's back to work. He's happy. Well, as happy as you can be. You're getting that paycheck, that full paycheck. So, it is a thing. David says, feeling better about traffic we have. I don't know. This could rival either if you're going over the bridge in Grand Island in the summertime when there's art park concerts, when you're on your way to Lewiston, it might rival that, or better yet, I would say that more rivals trying to get out of a Bills game, trying to get out after a Bills game. If you wait until the end of the game and you're behind all the tailgaters, you're behind everybody else, that I think is probably the closest that's comparable to, at least in my book, anyways. Drayson Rolando. I mean, yeah, true about the Bills game, true. And any football fans out there, that was kind of a nail biter last night. Honestly, I did not watch. I did not want to watch, but I was also working on some other projects after work. So my wife was watching the Bills game and I could hear her screaming at the TV with the door closed. Yeah, she's a big football person. She even plays in a fantasy football league. It's a whole thing. It really is. But hey, the Bills won. They won last night, so they're not in a losing streak. They lost 2 in a row, and then they won last night. They barely won last night. Hell, the Lions were kicking ass better this week than the Bills were. My wife was happy about that, by the way, too, because she's originally from Michigan. And I'm thirsty. That's the thing with my job, because I'm always talking. I'm literally talking every minute on the phone. So I'm talking all day long. So my throat gets really dry. My asthma medicine dries out my throat, too. So I'm constantly drinking zero sugar Gatorade or water or protein shake. This stream is not brought to you by Premier Protein. It isn't. I wish it was, but it isn't. Because I don't get paid. And that's fine. How did you get her to be a Bills fan? Well, I didn't do that. Long story, my wife originally, she grew up in Michigan, but due to a very long story we won't even discuss, family things, she moved in with her aunt and uncle who lived in upstate New York, Glens Falls, Saratoga, Ballston Spa area. So she kind of became a transplant of sorts. And then she went to college, Damon College here in Buffalo. So obviously, living in like the Buffalo metro area, suburbs like Tonawandas and everything, she slowly became a Bills fan. You live somewhere, you tend to root for that local team. So she's both a Lions and a Bills fan. She's both a summer and a winter. Yes, there you go. I mean, some of us are fans all over the board. I mean, hell, look at me. Bills fan, Eagles fan, right? Eagles and Lions, or Eagles and the Bills? Yeah, it's weird. It's a thing. Also, when it comes to hockey, my two teams are the Buffalo Sabres, of course, and then the Colorado Avalanche. I know. It's weird. And when it comes to basketball, you know who what my team is, right? It's the Knicks. Knicks are terrible, but they're still my Knicks, And when it comes to baseball, New York, I'm born and raised here in New York State. What's my favorite baseball team? It ain't the Yankees, boys. Mets all the way. Which is funny because one of my good friends is a diehard Yankees fan. So it's like I'm always like giving him side eye when he's rocking his Yankees hat. So it's a thing. It's a whole thing. So yeah, let's just catch up here. Chug. Yeah, pretty much. I gotta stay hydrated, man. But honestly, these Premier Protein shakes. No, this is not a commercial, by the way. But they have 30 grams of protein. So this whole thing is like the equivalent to a meal. Okay, true story. How about those Beagles? I mean Eagles. They beat the Cleveland Browns. Yeah, but speaking of Cleveland Browns, there's one less Cleveland Brown on the team. Why? Because he's a Buffalo Bill now. If you guys know, you know. Random question, Dave. How far are you from Cooperstown, New York? Good question. Let's go to the video. Okay, Cooperstown. Cooperstown, New York. Okay, from Grand Island. I'm about 3 hours and 49 minutes from Cooperstown. There you go. I pulled it up right on Google's. Google's. So it's the funny thing is it's 3 hours and 49 minutes if you drive, so that's 242 miles. Or if you took a flight, it's 3 hours and 20 minutes. So by flying, you're only saving about 39 minutes. Or no, that's 29 minutes. So you're only getting a half hour. So, there you go. I can't complain. I also have other NHL teams too. Sabres and the Sharks, really? Well, I mean, hey, if that's your team, man. I respect you. Cooperstown, New York. Yeah, that's what I looked up. So yeah, I'm about 3 hours and 49 minutes. So just under 4 hours. Megadan collects Dave's 3 hours 50 minutes. I'm a Flyers and a Penguins fan. I'm sorry. I'm sorry you're a Penguins fan. I kid. I also had the almighty Google too. There you go. But guys, let's get right on into this. Okay, Ghostbusters Haslab was leaked. We're going to look at it. If you don't want to see it, turn away. Don't look directly into the trap. Please turn away if you don't want spoilers. This has been hitting all over the interwebs, all over Facebook, all over Twitter. I really haven't seen this on Instagram. People are behaving themselves on Instagram. I'm sure Reddit is all a Twitter of the whole thing, pun intended. So we'll see what happens. David said mostly because the Sharks and Sabres haven't won a cup yet. Hey, watch that. What? Hey. Just watch it. Don't you know? So let's go ahead and go. We're going to bring this right on. There we go. A lot of us have been saying it's most likely going to be an Ecto because of the pin, because of the graphic art we've seen. The Haslab, the new Haslab that's going to be announced this coming Saturday or this weekend, maybe could be Thursday or Friday, really, because New York City Comic-Con goes like 4 days. So we have an Ecto 1, and she lights up. We don't know about sounds yet. We don't know sounds, but she lights up. How friggin' beautiful is that right now? How sexy does that look? I mean, the photography right here, I mean, she looks amazing. And Duffman, I do plan on having her parts right in front of the diorama you made me. I do. Okay. I know I won't be getting it probably for like a year and a half, maybe. But when I do get it, it will be parked in front of the diorama proudly because I love your diorama. That's one of my favorite pieces in my collection, man. But take a look at that. How great do the lights look on that? I mean, they even made the front grill look like it's metal. I mean, she looks brand new. This looks like the Ecto one from part one. She looks fantastic. Even the antenna is like slightly bent, like it is in the movie. Everything looks friggin' fantastic. This is chef's kiss. This is a piece of art. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I mean, it looks amazing. It really does. It looks amazing. I actually have this. No joke, guys. Let me see if I can pull it up real quick. Okay, my Facebook. Okay, well, I'm actually gonna pull up my Facebook. Okay, see if I can. I have this as my timeline background. Let me actually show you guys. Okay, let me just switch this. Okay, we're just gonna make it the entire screen. There we go. Okay, so there we go. I have this as my as my Facebook right now. As my Facebook background right there. That's how much I love this. Whoever did the photography on this is friggin' amazing. Friggin' amazing. Looks like the guys are still talking sports. I'm also a Bruins fan. Well, there's no accounting for taste. I'm messing with you. I'm just playing with you. I cannot stand the Cheatriots. Okay, the Patriots. Back when Crybaby Brady was on there, I'm not a Brady fan. I'm really not. I'm going to catch heat, but I'm also a Steelers fan from old school 1970s to the Rossberger years. Listen, I have no hate against the Steelers. I really don't. In fact, true story, I had an uncle, had past tense, who actually tried out and actually made was on the Patrick squad or practice squad, but he blew out his knee completely, and didn't play he missed his shot at being professional. That's a story that happens to a lot of people, especially back then. So yeah, no hate against the Steelers here. But tell me, guys, what do you think about this Ecto? Tell me this Ecto does not look amazing. I mean, tell me that. I mean, this Ecto looks friggin' phenomenal. Take a look at that right there, guys. Let me see if I can zoom in. There we go. How fantastic does that look? I mean, the logo, the light. We have interior lights on inside the car, by the way. This isn't trick lighting like you see on the seat. There's actually interior lighting inside the car. This, I mean, from a glance, this does not. I mean, obviously this is plastic, but it doesn't look like plastic. This almost looks like it could have been die cast. I mean, the aluminum esque type trim that they have going down the front of the hood, the grill, everything looks phenomenal here. Uh-oh, there he is. Left coast, Rick. I like the fact is we have added features. There's to make an Ecto 1A as well. Yeah, we're going to be talking about that. And hey, Rick, if you have time, if you want to jump on the stream, I have the link in the description below. So if you want to hop on, I would love to I want to get someone's input on this. We just went through the first photos. This is photo 2. I mean, it's like taking a look at this right there. I mean, tell me that doesn't look phenomenal. Just a front view of that, the lights. And that's another thing. Are the lights going to be as bright as they look in here? Is this trick photography right here? Is this going to be as bright, or is there going to be like different levels? Are these actual bulbs that they put in there? Probably not. They probably went with LEDs. But take a look at that right there. I mean, she looks so freaking fantastic, man. so badass. I mean, this picture alone, it's like it's selling me right there. It really is. It really is. So, but I mean, again, take a look at this. I mean, we even have a light in the little cop, little police style. Oh, Rolando, this is plasma series. This is 6-inch figures. These are not 3 3/4. There is already a 3 3/4 ecto out there. These are plasma series, and you're going to see a lot more in the pictures yet to come. Megan Dan says the ecto looks fire. Literally. Oh, you have not seen anything yet, my young friend. My young Padawan, you have not seen anything yet. I mean, take a look at the light bars. I mean, everything looks phenomenal here. Let's just zoom back out. I love that they did the proper tints on the windows here. Everything looks phenomenal. It really does. In my book, this is chef's kiss. They are really doing an amazing job with this. Now, we're going to go ahead and go on to the next photo, right? Inside. Okay, a couple things we see on the inside. We see they mounted the radio up there. Okay, that looks great. We can see that the panels, all the electronic panels here. But here's something I want to point out. We got Winston, we got Ray, which is great because that kind of brings back the iconic scene from Ghostbusters 1. We see Ray and Winston driving the Ecto on the way back. But look at this. This is Ghostbusters 2. We're getting new figures, guys. I've been saying for the longest time, I'm nervous about a vehicle Haslab for Ghostbusters. We've never done anything other than equipment for Ghostbusters as far as a Haslab yet, okay? Second, I kept saying, and you guys know, you've heard me say this, I can't see a vehicle funding for a defunct line. We haven't had a new Haslab figure in God knows how long, like a year and a half. Right? And guys, stand up for the man, the myth, the conspiracy theorist, the man who knows everything. Well, we can't say he knows everything. Otherwise, the government, they'll come after him. Rick left.
I wouldn't live in a little apartment if I knew everything.
What is up?
Not much, man. I knew you'd be excited about this.
Well, when the leak broke yesterday, I was like, oh, somebody's about to lose their job. We just got a new subscriber. Thank you. Thank you, Rhonda. That's cool. That's actually the first time I played around because I'm using something other than StreamYard, and we have all these little graphics and stuff we get to play with now. But yeah, I mean, a new line of figures. I was saying if they don't introduce new figures, this is going to fail. I mean, there's going to be people who will want to fund it, but if you don't give us new figures to continue a line, what's the sense in doing a vehicle if you're not going to have a continuing line?
Well, there is 6 new figures in these photos.
Oh yeah, and the thing is, I kept saying like they could easily do Ghostbusters 2, and look what friggin' happened.
Yeah, so I think the 6 figures we've seen in the leak will be like full tiers, however they work it out all the way down the line.
You think that they're not going to do them separate?
But I also think at the same time, when they announce this, they will announce a wave of figures that it might be a mix of a few different movies, because that might be a good way to go, much like Star Wars does and Marvel does sometimes.
They shuffle up from different parts of the fandom.
Yeah, Andor figs, some Ahsoka figs, and some
Well, I mean, we're kind of
trilogy figs, right?
We're kind of seeing this, and we'll see it in the next couple photos. But I love the fact that we're getting Ghostbusters 2 in gray suits. Egon looks. I mean, it could be the angle, but the Egon looks like he's got this weird kind of almost like Jeff Goldblum kind of grin going on here, and the glasses look a little funky, but they did, I think, look better in hand.
You have the Plasma series figures, right? All of them?
Oh yeah, I have the Plasma Series figures, and
So
those
I
Egons,
am
the glasses look
99%
fantastic.
sure these are all the exact same figures, just repainted.
Oh well, I'm going to say this:
Same head sculpt,
Winston's
same.
going to be a little bit different.
Well, if you have,
Yeah,
I don't have them anymore, but if you have them, pull them up and look at them,
yeah.
because I looked
Well,
at pictures online, and wrinkle to wrinkle,
yeah.
they're the exact same figures,
Oh yeah, for the
with
most part.
the
With
exception
Winston
of
though,
the Rick Moranis figure.
well, Winston went from having
He
like
has
a
a
mustache.
pinhole in his shoulder,
Yeah,
which I don't think they ever had any pinholes in their
yeah,
shoulders before. But again, they're all prototype pictures, right? So
yeah, yeah. These are probably still prototypes, so they're probably subject to change. But like with Winston, Winston went from Ghostbusters 1 having a mustache and having the tight hair to having kind of like the box cut and being clean shaven. So I mean, but that's not really much of a change. Just slightly sculpt the hair a little bit and omit
it
the
doesn't look that way.
yeah. I mean, yeah, he does from this angle. He definitely looks that way. But I mean, I like that we have lights on the interior.
Oh, for sure. It's one LED, which
Yeah,
literally costs 3 Canadian pennies. So that's like 1.8 American cents.
basically.
What one LED light costs.
Now I do have one criticism or one fear, I should say. Okay, we see 3 figures in here. Can we fit 4 figures in here? That's going to be the question.
I get it, and I
Yeah.
remember people were saying that for the O-ring and the 3.75-inch scale.
Yeah, well, I was one of those people. I'm like
40, as a 29-year-old man, I'm not going to be playing with toys like this and shoving. Make sure all the
no,
work,
but
and,
like
they're
you'd set up for like a display and walk away
for a couple of photos, sure, but it'd be pretty. You're not catching much. For a couple of photos, it's not going to be your best photo. If you do a photo shoot with this Ecto 1 and the figures, much like Hasbro did, and as we see in these. Photos that will eventually be on their website.
You'll get that at first. Like when you first unbox them, you're going to do your photos.
Not the best photo of all the photos.
Yeah.
So it's the last photo as a collector you're concentrating on and taking.
Yeah.
And I don't think it matters. I think as long as 2 fit in the front, and after that, maybe not complain.
Yeah. I mean, essentially, like you're probably going to do a bunch of photos when you first unbox it, and then that's it. And maybe once in a while you might do, huh?
Mostly going to be the outside, like even if you're watching like an episode, unless you're watching an episode of the A-Team, where 30% of the episode they're in the van,
portion of the show takes, and I'll be honest, if I could find some A-Team action figures, I would go for the ramen van.
You got to make your own.
I mean, it looks so freaking fantastic. The fan just.
We all have some Marvel Legends suit bodies, and we all have some GI Joes, and maybe we have some
Rick
some black GI Joes.
I did some customs with a buddy of mine. Came up with some mashups, and we did our own Frozen Empire figure. So
yeah, you did. I remember.
So I mean, so I'm like, hey, if I can figure out how to do some A-Team figures, I mean, we just need Hannibal, which can easily be done with a few Marvel figures right now.
Yeah, Vern made the whole team. He bought like 4 heads from different 3D print designer guys on whether it's Instagram or Etsy or eBay, $5 to $20 each, whatever they cost, and Vern painted them up himself, and they look great.
Or I just buy the files. Now that I my printer.
Resin print heads are
resin. Okay,
a little different than any other kind of
PLA. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I don't think I want to mess with that.
Like these figures we're looking at, some of the other photos, you can kind of see the 3D striations, like just barely though.
Hey, what's up, Cobweb? We're talking about the leaked Haslab photos for the Ecto 1, the Ghostbuster Haslab coming up this week.
That some of them are 3D prototypes. The Rick Moranis one, you can see the 3D print lines, but they're like 0.00001 millimeters of the highest end
Oh,
general
yeah.
giant printers, so you don't even know it.
Bill's in the chat saying, hey, nah, all 4 have to fit inside for 46-year-old kids like me. Hey, there you go. But
one might have to be lying down. Because remember, you still got that gurney to get in there, and you want that gurney to have all the proton packs on it. So,
yeah. Well, it's
was there ever a time in the movie? I
and
guess
let's
there
be
was.
honest, the one who would probably be laying down sleeping would be
Bill
Venkman.
Murray?
Let's be honest. It would be Venkman. Come on. The gray ghost. I mean, the gray lady from the library. I mean, talking about taking things from now. This goes for Ghostbusters 1, and anyone who is a fan of the video game. I mean, the sculpt on this, I'm digging this right now. I'm really digging this.
My guess is this will be the first tier.
Yeah.
I think the first one and the second tier will be Ghostbuster 1 affiliated.
Yes.
And then from then on, one of the final tiers will be.
Well, I'm going to throw this out there.
To make it Ecto 2 and Rick Moranis and the figures. They got to do it somehow.
I'm throwing this out there. Anyone who is getting excited at how she looks right now, this is not how she's going to look out of the box. They obviously have an LED light underneath her because she's got like a purplish glow going on the book here. She's not going to light up like this because
she just has good lighting on her. There's no light under her.
You don't think so? Okay.
No. They just have lights. They have a studio because they built this room in their Hasbro headquarters just so they could take these awesome photos.
Yeah, because when I had the family that bus together, which was the Phoebe paired up with Grandpa Egon, his ghost. Yeah. And his ghost he wasn't very bright looking. Like you really had to kind of like lay him proper to give him any kind of a look. And they gave him kind of a purplish kind of plastic similar to this, but maybe a little bit darker.
Very similar, yeah.
Yeah.
But it was more of a children's toy wave too, right? Yeah. Those.
But you know what though?
4.5 inchers, those
No. These were they were plasma series.
Oh, was it a plasma series?
Yeah, they did plasma series 1, which was really hard to find.
Like the last one they did it then, I guess, right?
No.
Until the last movie.
Because they did Wave 1, which was Ghostbusters 1 figures. They did a Slimes variant. And I'm trying to think it might have been part of the last series. You might be right. Yeah. Now that I'm thinking of it.
And this movie was the last wave of, or I don't know, it was more than one wave of 6-inch figures. Was from the Aftermath movie, right?
Afterlife, yes.
Afterlife.
Yeah. But I like the look of this. I'm only hoping that to give us an alternate head, like when she turns and like she like does like the ghost scare at the guys when she causes them to start running out of the library in part 1.
Yeah, maybe I can see that.
I would love to have something like that because I think that would be cool. We have her holding the book. We have her doing the little whisper. Like
if she was an individually packed figure, I can see them doing that. Like include some books.
Or if they sell her later on with that extra head, I could see. I mean, come on, it's Hasbro, Repaint City. We know the game. But I love this. There's like this is what you're talking about, the pins right here, right? Is this what you're right here?
Oh, yeah,
there. Yeah,
they've always had pins in their elbows and knees, but that pin in the shoulder is more like an O-ring style.
Yeah.
Well, that's why Vern was thinking that this whole Haslab thing was 3.75-inch scale, and I'm thinking there's zero chance that they're gonna make.
Yeah, because I mean, we have the line in the leg right there.
Same car again for a fourth time, and charge $100.
We wouldn't have that line in the leg here if it was if there was 3 3/4. But yeah, I could see where he would get that idea from.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like that's the only feature that is never on 6-inch action figures. Like I don't think there's any modern company now, or even vintage company, that ever had that shoulder pin.
Yeah.
Even Todd McFarlane doesn't have that shoulder pin.
We don't talk about Todd. No, I'm kidding.
Well, but now McFarlane's got faceplate changers on the last few releases.
And of course, I mean they obviously I imagine they just reused the head sculpt from Tully's Terrible Nights, which I never got. That was when Lewis had you had Lewis in his little disco outfit with the tin hat, right? The strainer hat with
Yeah, that was from part
the
one,
gate,
right?
yeah, with that was paired up with the terror dog.
What
So
wasn't his name Dozier or
well, no, it was
it wasn't Lewis.
Zool and Vince
That figure wasn't
Clortho.
Lewis. It was his
His was Vince Clortho, and Dana was Zool. Zool was part of
Zool.
a Build-A-Figure for the original Wave 1. And you're thinking
Wasn't
of
he called the Keymaster in that figure?
he was the Keymaster, and
Yeah.
the whole irony was he kept locking himself out of his apartment throughout the movie. Remember?
Yeah. No, so this will
But
be
he
a
was the
whole.
Keymaster.
This will be the other than that weird looking shoulder with that pin in it, it's still the exact same sculpt as the other 4 Ghostbuster figures. So that's what I mean. Like it's just something different about this.
Technically, he should be a little shorter, technically speaking, but we'll see how it actually turns out.
Good point.
Because I mean, Rick Moranis, he is kind of short, and for the first time ever in the history of Plasma series, what do we have? We have ghosts. We have the librarian, the gray lady, and we have Slimer. I mean,
I kind of wish Slimer was like 50% transparent.
Yeah,
because he doesn't look like he has any transparent properties. But I mean, if he just had some, like, there's ways they can take that plastic and milk it up a bit. You know what I mean? Like, make it not super clear, make it milky and harder to see through. And that's how I see him. Like, he's like bright green with a little bit of a lighter green inside.
He was a glowing green. He was
you can see some hot dogs in his belly, for crying out loud.
Yeah. I mean, we saw him like even in Ghostbusters 2 when he was driving the bus when Lewis gets on the damn bus.
Yeah.
You know? But I mean, for the first time we're getting Plasma series ghosts, and that opens the door that they could do a whole freaking wave of ghosts from part 1 or even part 2. I know a lot of people are holding out hope that we'll get a Vigo the Carpathian maybe, or Janos. You know, there's so much.
This would have to do well, as well as if it had one accompanying wave, kind of coming out to retail just before around the same time. Then if those pre-sell well through Hasbro Pulse and affiliates and stuff like that.
And I do notice a few things.
Continue on for another wave.
I do notice a few things. They're using some of the mechanics from the smaller, the 3 3/4 scale ectos, because they had that sliding maneuver, that sliding mechanism, so that the door can swing open as far as it does.
Yeah, that's another reason why Vernon compared the pictures of the two vehicles, and you can tell they used a lot of the same. Well, they used basically the same sculpt.
Yeah,
and if it
is, they just kind of upscaled things.
Yeah, upscaled it and used a lot of the same, mechanisms and stuff. But that's what I can't see this even lasting a day. Like I can see people wanting to cancel Hasbro if this was 3.75 inch scale.
Oh, the fans would have. Oh, we would have rioted. The Ghostbuster fans,
because it is that gurney is the exact same sculpt as the 3.75 inch scale. Like I've compared the pictures before I posted them just to make sure.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm calling it as
it definitely looks. The only difference is, other than the size, is they gave it more of a they tried to give it a silver finish, give it that proper finish instead of that friggin' blasted gray mold plastic.
It's still going to be made of gray mold plastic, I'll tell you that.
But see, my whole thing is I want to see how well the packs fit on there, because the packs have those the molded green plastic straps that from the house frame that sticks out so damn far. This is going to be interesting to see how well they actually fit, or are they going to have like little stunt packs that they just put on there?
Maybe
for display?
They could have those stunt packs.
But I mean, so far, like, this looks great.
And but then I know I'm kind of knocking the 375, but I'm not. Like, because they made the Ecto one from Ghostbusters in 3.75 inch scale, right? And then they made Ghostbusters Afterlife. The same car, just modded some little different parts with the drone and whatever
Yeah,
they got going on.
you gave it a red pinstripe going down the front hood, which personally I'm not a fan of.
So like, I just can't see them going to that again. And the only thing they're doing different is adding a Ghostbusters 2 add-on pack, which is like 3 doors and some crap on the roof. Well, and some more, and these are going to be O-ring figures, and we just can't tell from this photo because it's not a high-res photo. Like, can you zoom in on this and see pins on their shoulders? Because I do see them now.
It's kind of hard to see them on an angle. Let me see if I can go back here. Sorry. Yeah, I mean, these are displays, so I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, if Lewis has pins, I wouldn't be surprised that. I mean, I wouldn't think that these guys wouldn't have pins either.
Venkman looks like he's got pins. I don't see them on the other one though.
And I don't know. Venkman is. I mean,
the one with the glasses. That's Venkman.
Yeah.
Isn't it?
Oh, Spengler.
Yeah,
it definitely looks like you probably have a pin here and maybe right here.
Because, like with the add-on pack to make it part 2, like they get the new license plates. So it would have to be on the front and the back.
Yeah.
So that, not that they're big parts. And then I guess the packs would be the same, right?
Well, what I'm guessing is probably this. The roof rack itself is completely different. I mean, you have the core roof rack here, but then you have the extra light bars here. The dish is completely different.
Yeah,
you have all these lights
on the sides.
This big tube right here. These lights right here, they're all different. So odds are someone
the back bumper is different.
Yeah, well, the back bumper is definitely different, but I've talked to a few people. Some people seem to think that they might be offering 2 versions. And here's the reasoning.
You have to switch out all 4 doors and the hatch, the back door, and the roof rack, and the back bumper. Like, it's not just a sticker swap. It's parts that are different. Like,
well, there are definitely subtle differences if they make the rear bumper where it can snap off. But here's the thing. About a week or 2 ago, Archer covered this on his streams, and he covered it on Instagram, where there was a leak on the European version of Hasbro Pulse. That there was two listings for a Ghostbusters Haslab playset. And it was just a stock photo from the Proton pack. There was a regular and there was a deluxe. And that makes people think that they're going to offer an Ecto 1 and then offer an Ecto 1A. But here's the thing. We've never seen that happen before. And would they really want to make a gamble like that with Ghostbusters? I could see doing something like that with Classified series, with G.I. Joe. If you had like the same kind of vehicle, but you have the Joe version and then the Cobra version, I could see people still selling out that. This, I still want to say this has to be a stretch goal. This has to be a stretch goal because I can't see them running 2 Haslabs for the same brand at the same time. Do you agree? You there?
Sorry, man. I just was answering a message.
Okay. No worries.
What was that last part of the question you were asking?
Like, I can't see them doing 2 Haslabs at once. So I'm thinking this has to be. But I've also talked with a few people, and they said, since finding out about these pictures, there's people I know who are talking about that they're going to go in on 2 They're going to go on 2 of these. One that's going to be
they have 2 cars, like the super,
and one that's 1A.
Diehards with money to spare.
Oh yeah,
and that's not
me.
1,000 people.
I'm probably gonna, I'm just gonna do 1. There's no way I can swing 2. It's just not happening.
Well, it's, as your collecting friend, I would tell you that is kind of silly if you did.
Yeah.
If I was your wife, I would tell you it's stupid. I would use harder words. Do you know what I mean, right? Like, it's like saying I need 2 of those. Well, maybe I should eat all my words because I want 3 of those Ramen Toys vans. I want, the A-Team looking one. I want the generic black one, and I want the
Yeah, but
generic
there's a
white
lot.
one.
There's a lot you can do with them too, though.
Yeah, so it's I guess that's a
Yeah.
little different than an
I mean,
actual hearse of the
even when
Ghostbusters.
they did the Ramen Racer, I mean, you could use that for Blade. You can use it for Ghost Rider. I mean, hell, you can even use that for a Fast and the Furious if you want. I mean, there's a lot of different things you
Because
could do.
the ramen racer and the bread car are in my head already over the past several months, and then this gets revealed, and I see it's got different, like out of the 8 pictures,
Hmm.
there's different bumpers, there's different doors, there's a different roof rack,
Yeah.
so like that whole thing has to come off for it to be Ghostbusters 1, but it's
Well,
still electronic,
yeah.
so it will come off and it will unplug. So it's not just gonna be a couple of magnets like a ramen racer part, which is still it's a cool modern way of doing that kind of stuff. But
I
this
mean,
is a multi-billion dollar
essentially
toy company.
for the rack itself, this light bar right here has to come off. The one below is going to be a completely different one because you have to swap it out for the blue. So this here and this here comes off. This has to come off. The matching sign on the other side has to come off.
Basically the whole thing.
For the most part, yes.
Yeah.
I mean,
And it would be cheaper because there's just one molded gray
the
part.
tanks here.
Middle.
The tanks here are part of the original rack. This whole part right here coming from this rack, but this looks like it's one solid piece. So it definitely looks like it's going to have to come off altogether. This radar dome is supposed to be white with red stripes for Ghostbusters 1. Obviously, this is for Ghostbusters 2. So again, it like you said, it's going to be this whole thing has to come off.
Yeah.
But I mean, that also makes me wonder what the hell kind of price point are they going to?
That's an easy.
Well, what worries me is how much are they going to charge us for all this?
Well, that's what once you get to the other pictures and you point out doors.
Or like look at this. We had this metal piping that goes to the tank here.
4-door car.
Yes.
With a hatchback. So there's 5 more parts right there. Because the doors have the black and yellow caution tape.
Yes.
That's not going to be stickers to change.
I would hope not. I would hope not.
Brand new doors. Again, which is not a big deal, but I mean, because it's going to be 12 doors or 10 doors now in total.
This is a nice little quality because you can see the reflection hitting here. You can see a little bit of reflection coming on here. So this actually looks pretty good. Pretty decent quality right there.
Yeah, it's a prototype. So that's literally a sticker or hand.
Oh, yeah, it's a sticker for now. Yeah, definitely.
But when they're painted in the factory, it'll be. But yeah, the whole.
I mean, this right here. I mean,
logo on the doors and the hatchback.
Yep.
So it's a great. It's a good idea. I like to see Hasbro doing something that has these swappable parts, not just like Giant Man with a swappable head or a face.
One of my fears is how bright are these? Are these going to be this bright? I'm doubting that. I'm seriously doubting they're going to be this bright, but I could be wrong.
You can light your whole house with LEDs, dude. It's light. They're pretty bright.
Yeah. No, but I mean, like, I'm worried about are they going to be this bright when you get them in hand, like a year and a half from now, or is it going to be a little bit dimmer? And also, are they going to design this in such
LEDs get dimmer? You change the batteries.
Yeah, well,
LEDs are almost like life; they last forever.
Well, see, that's also another thing with the Ghostbuster fans. With the proton packs, we a lot of us, including myself, I actually cut the battery compartment out because I'm using like a Talon Cell power pack that can run for several days.
Yeah, because the cost and that tech,
you
know, you're a techie guy. It's much cheaper now. Like I think for $25,
well, hell, it's
$40
cheaper than buying 4D batteries.
It's cheaper than buying 4D.
You know, like 4D batteries to power the proton pack alone. I mean, that's about like $20 right there
of good batteries, and they won't last you one day.
Yeah, I mean, I could spend about maybe about $25, and I can get that Talon Cell battery pack, and I'm good to go for the future. Just charge it. Yeah. So I could see a couple of us, Ghostbuster nerds doing that here. But
now here's a question for you, Dave. So if they just revealed this and it's only Ecto 2 or sorry, Ecto 1.
Only Ecto 1.
Okay. I think it would not fund.
And
no swappable parts to make it part 1.
And I have to say this, I can't disagree with you on that.
I think it's a neat add-on feature. Like because it's not gonna like bring in fans of only Ghostbusters 2. It's not that kind of a brand, if you ask me. There's newer school ones from Afterlife, of course.
Oh yeah, but
see,
I
mean,
that's the thing. Like, that's really you can take this. You can take this right here. You can 3D print the little dome for the drone, slap it on the top here. You could paint the little red pinstripe on here, and you have the Frozen Empire Ecto 1. The only thing is you won't have the gunner seat popping out.
No, and that would go straight to Ollie's.
Yeah, but see,
like the rest of the toys from that movie line.
Easily
not a big selling toy line.
Yeah, but like for example, if you really wanted this to be that vehicle, you can.
Yeah,
it's that simple. You know,
you'll be the only one posting pictures of it on Instagram. You're that super duper fan who bought 3 of these so they could do an Afterlife one as well.
I knew people.
And there's going to be 3 of those people. Watch.
I knew people, not YouTubers, but I knew people in the communities who, when the Proton Pack came out, they bought the full limit, or they would also have like their wife buy another 5 of them, and they flipped them. But they flipped them in the aftermarket, and they made their money back 10 times over.
Yeah, same with the Jabba sail barge. Like that was a $500 item, and it still sells for $2,000 plus. And the people selling it are like the people that bought 4 of them.
Did you guys talk theories on price and tiers yet? No, we haven't explored pricing just yet. There's a chance it doesn't back, in my opinion. Yeah, there's always a chance because, I mean, honestly, with the exception of classified series, doing a vehicle right now is dangerous if it's Hasbro. Because
I think Hasbro's had very good success with its previous Ghostbuster Haslabs. So that alone is enough for like the final boss at Hasbro. Yes, proceed with this.
Let's see what happens.
I think it will for sure. It will be 350 or less, and I think it'll have even more stuff.
Do you think it could be more than 350
in these 8 photos? Like there might be an Afterlife bonus tier. You never know, or 3 patches.
Let me ask you,
which is cool stuff, of course. But I mean,
do you think it'll be more than 350?
No.
Okay.
I think they learned. But what do I know? Like people.
Well, the Proton Pack.
Yeah, but that's a prop.
Yeah.
A prop replica, and like I have a Han Solo blaster that was $600. Like it's a prop. It's not. It's just. I have no toy, no brand new toy made by Hasbro or Mattel.
I'm going to say this:
that I would pay $500 for. Like none.
Now, I had said weeks ago they would be smart if they did a line of figures. We have a line of figures here, at least, with potential for more.
Oh, they wouldn't do this without an attached wave.
Yeah.
To be announced at New York City Comic Con.
So,
expect this, Dave. A lot of new toys will be revealed next week, this week, upcoming weekend.
Because I could see them doing. They'd never released Janine. They could do Janine from part 1. They could do Janine from part 2. Have them in different waves.
Yeah, because those wouldn't be popular as tiers.
You could have the guys in their civilian clothes. You could do the court scene. You could have the Scoleri brothers, which tons of us fans would love to have. From the court
now I get it, but you're digging into like the Star Wars lore of like the background Cantina characters, but it's
here's the thing: the Scoleri brothers are actually big fan favorites. And in fact, Ghostbusters Spirits Unleashed, the multiplayer online game, they're supposed to be releasing the Scoleri brothers like within the next month or 2.
In the game?
So in the game, yeah. So that would be a nice crossover.
Any of those, secondary characters, they would do the real Ghostbusters 6-inch scale. Because they did tease that apparently at New York Comic Con like 3 or 4 years ago, and it just nothing ever came from that. So now there's is it Mondo doing a
Mondo's doing the real Ghostbusters
6-inch line. So
they look amazing.
They've obviously
price points.
Yeah, they're definitely different price point. But Hasbro, as a a licensee payer, made real Ghostbuster toys. It was their property originally, and so Mondo, like Hasbro, doesn't own Ghostbusters.
No,
but they own partially the rights of that cartoon colored toy. I don't know what percentage it would be. So the Filmation company or whoever runs that,
they own the Kenner rights, as it were.
Yeah, so the Kenner rights. So, but Mondo, if they are making these 7-inch to look like the Kenner 80s figures, they have to pay a royalty to Hasbro to be able to do that. That's not a.
I would think that they have to pay a royalty to Hasbro and to Sony, technically speaking.
Yes, of course. Yeah. So I think Hasbro, they're part of their license that is something they could definitely do, is make a 6-inch real Ghostbusters line a couple of ways, because they had some of the Fright feature ghosts and feature things.
Archer,
and I think that would be popular with Ghostbuster fans. I'm not a
Archer. This is Rick
for it, but I think it would be popular.
Archer, this is Rick, also known as Left Coast Graphics. Okay, he's big with Vern. He's big with a lot of the toy community. He also makes some amazing damn Star Wars themed pins. Is that still accurate? Can I say Star Wars themed?
Absolutely.
Or is that too legal?
It's all good.
But
it's inspired.
Archer says, I think that guy is right. I'm sorry, I didn't catch your name. Plasma Series landed in Ollie's, and that's how I got into the line. I mean, that's true.
I had a couple of sets of the Plasma Series that I got at the $5 store here in Canada. And then which company made the 6-inch figures that had the glow in the dark?
I know, Anthony.
Hasbro. That was that Mattel?
Mattel did a whole line, and then Diamond Select had their go at the Ghostbuster figures.
Yeah, but they're 7-inch.
Hasbro. Yeah.
So Diamond in photography shoots outside the car.
Yeah.
Right. Same with
but you can't pose them worth a damn.
Toys bread car van. You can have all your 7-inch NECA and Mattel Mr. T figures outside the car and make great pictures.
Yeah.
But there's no 7-inch figure fitting inside the Ramen Toys car, or I don't know. I haven't touched it. And same with this. There's a good chance a 7-inch, McFarlane Batman is not.
It would be a very tight fit.
That's why I'm still upset deeply that all these toy companies can't just stick to, here's a 6-inch scale and here's 3.75.
A uniform scale.
And no McFarlane on his own. McFarlane's got 11 scales. Come on, man.
Yeah.
And he's Canadian. He should know better.
Ramblin' Nerd says, I still want a set of RGB equipment. I know you do. There are STL files. I've seen people printing the old RGB packs. The real Ghostbuster, the Kenner ones, the small ones.
Yeah.
So people are getting 3D files of those out there, man. So if you can find one, and all you need is someone with a printer, and they can print it up for you. 1, 2, 3. I saw someone print one from scratch, and they put electronics in it for full light up and sounds and everything. So
yeah, but you could buy some cool lights and stuff. I've seen people make specific kits, third-party kits for the Lego DeLorean or the Lego Ecto or
I've seen those light sets, and it's oh, it looks kind of cool, but then back in my head I was like, do I really want to take them apart and rebuild them from scratch just to put the LEDs in the right spot? But
you're a techie guy, so you should be on the upper level. If there's a 50% chance of yes, you're going to do that, no, you're not going to do that. You as the techie builder guy, you should be yes. So if you don't do it, that means very little amount of people aren't going to do it.
I love Ultra Carzilla's I have to go now. Get ready for General Kenobi's bunker live today. See you guys next time. Take care. Have a great one. Ultra Carzilla is going on to the show, but I mean, if they keep it around 3 to 350, I think 350 is going to be the ceiling for a lot of people.
I think so too.
But I mean, they are throwing a lot of bells and whistles. I just have one thing to say. It better have the damn siren. If they don't
If
put
it's got lights, it's got sounds. Again, it's
I want to hope so, because
pennies.
I don't think we had sounds in any of the GI Joe Haslabs.
Playmobil's got sounds, and I paid
And that's my argument.
$35 for my Ecto.
How many years ago did they come out with that? Like 6 or 7 years ago, maybe?
No, not
maybe
3
5?
years. 3 at the most.
3? Okay. But we're talking about things that are between like $50 to $75 roughly, right? And they had lights and sounds. So if Hasbro, I said before, if Hasbro doesn't do that, they're going to friggin' fail. They have these amazing lights on here, or at least on the prototype. So, I mean, it's enough to get me excited. Now, what would I display? Would I display it as Ecto 1 or Ecto 1A?
You would display it as Ecto 1.
I probably will stick to
because
Ecto
unlike
1.
Star Wars, Ghostbusters 2 isn't the best one and most people's favorites.
Yeah,
it's not like hated in any way or less.
And that's the thing. So many people, I know a lot of people who say, you know, Ghostbusters 2 is kind of like, if they were to rate the movies, they would say Ghostbusters 1, Frozen or Afterlife, then Frozen Empire, and maybe Part 2. But I know some people that are diehard Ghostbusters 2 fans, because they like the different color suits. They like that the Ecto got this big massive upgrade, but you know, that's the thing. When it comes to the fans and the cosplayers out there, there's probably maybe 2 or 3 people within the United States maybe that have an Ecto 1A, because it's such an undertaking to try and do it. It's too much of a hassle. Same thing would be for this. I mean, look at how tall the Ecto is, and then the Ecto 1A, you have to have a pretty big shelf if you're going to do it that way.
Well, like you're pointing out, the little white and red candy stripe thing.
Yeah,
that's
the radar dome. Yeah,
thing. The antenna will bend.
Oh yes.
So that's the tallest thing. Like here's the Ecto 1.
Yep, this part here.
And that is a different part because it's silver underneath. And on the Ecto 2 that we're looking at,
it's black.
All that rack was black. So I think that whole top piece comes off as one piece. Like you got to take a ladder off, take the top off. That blue hose thing. Is that blue hose thing on Ecto 1?
It's on both Ectos, yes.
Okay,
it's not on Frozen. It's not on Frozen Empire.
Ecto 1. So you pull the ladder and the blue thing off.
Yep, just like you said right here. It's all black.
Without the ladder, the photos, there's no holes. That proves that it's a completely different door with the different paint scheme. But here's this for you, Dave. Base model. The base model.
Yes.
I think it would be just the base model Ecto 1 with all the Ecto 1 lights and features, and the ghost librarian lady, and maybe even Slimer. Like maybe that's the base wave. Now I think if that was $300, it's worth it. I think if that was
$300, yes.
I think if that was $350 for that car, a ghost librarian and Slimer, I think $350 is too much. But I think $350 is fair for all the bells and whistles, 4 other figures. But I mean, so we got to look at base model first, which is I think fair. Because I think not most, several collectors who would get this could care less about Ghostbusters 2 mods and even the figures.
Correct.
So I think, man,
unless you're diehard,
no original figures for the base model, except for we know the librarians from episode 1, season, the first movie, and Slimer's in like all of them. So maybe Slimer comes with it, and she's a tier, and then Rick Moranis is a tier. I don't know, because how many one tier for all 4 figures and the Ghostbuster 2-pack? It would have to be all in one tier, because you wouldn't want to get the 4 figures and not get the add-on pack, and you wouldn't want the add-on pack without that added tier of the 4 figures. So that will have to be a tier on its own, I think. The 4 figures in dark gray with the add-on doors and lights, and that's a big tier, don't you think?
I'm curious to see how many tiers
yet.
do we have before? We had 1, 2, 3, 4 tiers. This is for the Proton Pack. We had 4 tiers. So I'm going to guess we probably will have maybe 3 or 4 tiers for this as well.
But you know what I mean about the Ghostbusters 2 figures and a Ghostbusters 2 parts for the car? It would be stupid and pointless and not making sensible to be 2 separate tiers, because if it didn't make one of those tiers, then you
can't complete the car.
Pointless.
Yeah. Well, I mean, they kind of went that route before. Okay?
I know, and they can't. I think they can't do that.
They gambled it with the Proton Pack, because one of the tiers, guess what? It was the connecting hose to connect the wand that they sold a year before to the pack.
Hmm.
So, I mean, they have gambled, and hopefully they've learned their lesson since then. At least I would like to hope, because this was one of the tiers. This hose. And, full disclosure, the hose does. This is not how the hose wound up looking like. It was a little bit different, but for the most part, it was the same. I mean,
like those other tiers, I think are kind of.
Some of these tiers were really cheap, though. Like,
we get $4 tiers,
2 sheets of stickers, and it was supposed to be Egon's notebook. Another tier was, you get a stand. Well, you should have got a stand with it to begin with.
Yes.
I mean, it's just like when they do friggin' like Giant Man and Galactus, they should have a diorama that the figure pegs into, so it's like a proper stand.
Just like the car, car-based tier, it would require someone to drive it.
We got the myth here.
Hey, what's going on,
the Sleeping Collectibles himself.
Do you know what I mean? Like, if the car didn't come with a driver at all,
I mean, it's
maybe the initial package includes Ghostbusters 2 add-on and the 4 figures, and
we can hope
the Librarian, Slimer, some patches.
I mean,
cardboard backdrop fire hall.
Hasbro, if you're listening, you know what you can do with those patches.
Oh, come on, man! You don't already have patches, and you probably paid for them.
But my patches are better quality.
Patches to one level of quality. I know from experience.
I mean, there's so many people you can get better patches on Etsy and Facebook groups and.
That's what I mean. They can only 3D printing. There's the top level of it.
Oh yeah.
You can't make it better than the top level. So with embroidery, there's not there's crappy embroidery, and there's modern standard, embroidery.
But I mean, easily, as long as this is around maybe $350, I'm definitely getting one. I know of people who are like, I'm planning on getting 2. I'm like, you know what? More power to you. More power to you. You do you. I'm doing 1, because here's the thing. How big now? Just the sheer fact. Okay, we see pictures here, right? But we don't know. That thing's gonna be friggin' huge to fit at least 3, if not more, 6-inch Plasma Series figures. It's gonna be huge. It's gonna take up a lot of space,
especially beside your Ramen Racer and your Hiss Tank and your.
I mean, it's a 59 Caddy,
and your.
I mean, it's a 59 Caddy, so I mean, it's going to take up space.
Yeah, it's meant to sit 6 people, like station wagon style, or 4 people and 2 laying down.
Exactly. I mean, it's going to be one of those things that it's going to take up space. I do not want that to happen. Let me move this out of the way. You piece of Elgato. I was going to try and zoom in because I have the Playmobil. I have both of them. I have the Ecto 1 and the Ecto 1A. They're great.
Playmobil, 2 of them?
Huh? They did 2. Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah. Hold on.
What's going on, Captain? Sleeping? He didn't recognize me with my hair. Don't zoom in on me. Welcome to the Rick Show. Subscribe to Rick's channel. Unsubscribe from Dave's channel. Dave's having some technical difficulties because I'm sure he didn't do this on purpose. Who would do this on purpose? Come on, man. Look at these beautiful pins and patches. All available in my big cartel store. Hope you're doing well sleeping. Haven't seen you in a while, buddy. Hold on. So in the chat here, like most of you have been with us since we started, you know the topic. The topic is the leaked Haslab. It looks like a 6-inch scale Ecto 1 converting to an Ecto 1A and all the way up to Ghostbusters 2. Is this something you would get? Let's say it's $300 US plus whatever they end up charging you for shipping. I'm guessing $40, and I'm guessing another $40 tax. So you're looking at.
Okay, I'm back. Okay, we're back.
Dave's back.
Sorry, I hit a button on my keyboard and we lost everything. Thankfully, it was still going. I'm sorry, guys. Okay, where's this? Where is everybody? Where's the chat? Chat is not here anymore.
Oh, they said I got cut off, but I look like I'm here.
There you go. We're back. Amateur hour here. Man, I love October. Such a good month for birthdays. Yeah, some idiot from Buffalo had a birthday today, but you know, here he is a real slacker. Rick was about to say how much he thought it would be.
Oh, well, we've been talking about it. I think it's going to be more than $300 American, and less than $349. Sorry, less than $350. Because I think more than that is they already know it's too much for something.
Yeah,
a 6-inch scale car with lights and whistles.
Well, no, I was trying to grab my.
Plus, what do they charge you? $40 shipping for a big Haslab? Yeah, that's a great toy.
Well, what I did was I actually painted the front silver.
Oh, okay. Well, was it really, really gray?
Yeah, it was really, really gray. So I actually painted it silver, and I covered up the bumpers, and I even hit the bottoms with silver to try and improve it. So
that's the Afterlife one.
No, this is Ghostbusters 2.
That's Playmobil?
That's Playmobil.
So Playmobil made Ghostbusters, Ghostbusters 2, and Afterlife?
No, Playmobil did Ghostbusters 1 and 2.
Oh, okay.
And the batteries are low in here, so
did their version.
Yeah, but they did like their, you know, they did some lights. You know. Oop. Gotta clean it off. But I mean, like they made this like little sticker decal you hit on the sides. And we had a bunch of figures.
It's a beautiful toy. Playmobil makes quality toys, man. You could throw that against the wall and it will bounce back onto your hands.
Oh, yes.
I'm not recommending you do that, but Playmobils are like
the Playmobil Firehouse. I love it. You know?
Yeah, it's good. It's great scale for 3.75 inch, I think too. So as soon as someone makes, they got the O-rings coming up. That looks better than the Hasbro one. The Hasbro Ecto, I think, is kind of garbage.
It's basically the same one that they had for Afterlife, just with a different color scheme on it.
It's just cheaper quality. Like it's a $10 toy, rack toy to me. I know it's not. I'm picky. Like I have some green light die cast and I have some Playmobil, and they're like 10 times better than a Hasbro vehicle. And I have a lot of Hasbro vehicles, from X-Wings to TIE Fighters and you name it, right?
There's the one in question. This is the from Afterlife.
Yeah. See, that's got the great paint job on it.
And okay, all they did was just paint it, make it look brand new, and put the stripes on it for Frozen Empire. That's all they did. So
for a cheapy toy, like to me, like double.
do I want to pay like $60 for it? No.
It's worth the price of 2 6-inch action figures, or let's say 3.7 5-inch scale action figures. So it's a good price point. So it could appeal to the younger children's generation.
Yeah.
But I think it's a license, much like Star Wars and G.I. Joe and Marvel. Well, Marvel, maybe a little bit of an exception, appeal to more people that are older. They just do. Like, unless they joined on for Afterlife and fell in love with all the previous movies, great. It worked. It brought them into the fandom, into the, the Ghostbusters life. And same with Star Wars. A lot of fans joined in for the sequels or just the cartoons like Rebels. And then most likely they go back and watch the original trilogy and the prequels and, read some comics and become part of that fandom too, right? It all has a history. So, but I think the core fans from any brand comes from the original history.
Well, yeah, they tried to tie in comic books with the two movies, Afterlife and Frozen Empire. They did a little comic book run, but it was a little bit cheesy because they did like more of a kiddie animated style.
Oh, is that right?
Art. Yeah.
It was just a short series?
Yeah, it was just a short series. It was only 4 issues, but I picked up the variants for each one just in case it's worth something down the line, Because some of the Ghostbuster comic books, like, they're really worth a lot because they did limited runs. They didn't do like a really long continuous, depending on the lines and depending on the company. So I just grabbed them. They're cool covers, but the inside is like really cheap looking art for the most part.
Mm-hmm. Did you see the McFarlane Superman figure?
I saw him. I saw a picture of it today. It's okay, but it's not making me excited about it. It's like I've heard people say, oh, if you want a Christopher Reeve, you should go for Mezco, or you should go for this or go for that.
You paid $100 for a 6-inch action figure.
Yeah, that's part of my thing.
But then again, this isn't 6-inch. But I'm still gonna get it. It'll be my first McFarlane DC figure because I haven't found his 7-inch Batman 66 yet. I thought that would be my first, and I will get that too. I really, that's my favorite Batman, and Christopher Reeves is the only Superman. So
he's the Superman. Let's be honest.
He is Superman, like literally. And so
I still want to see that documentary they made.
Yeah, me too. I'm counting the days. It should be on digital anytime if it's not already.
Because you're talking about this right here, right?
No,
Let me see if I can pull it up.
That's
there we go. Is it that? No, that's not it. So let me go back.
That's NECA, but
I clicked on the wrong thing.
AI photo.
I clicked on the wrong thing. Let me see.
Oh, you don't just show it. I just making small talk.
Well, no, because
100 more McFarlane toys to talk about in the next week. 100. Man, he did 6 today and 5 yesterday, and
like this right here. Let me pull it up here. There you go.
Yeah, that's it. Look at that head.
Yeah, it looks good. I just don't like how this kind of sticks out.
Only thing I don't like McFarlane is the pins and the fact of 7-inch. And otherwise,
I wish the crest was raised.
Figure sculptor. His company has used. They're the best sculpts by far.
Hey, Mython. We got Mython the Python in the chat.
What's going on?
Of course, we got Captain Spaulding.
It's just weird. Like, I've gone my whole life without like a Christopher Reeve toy.
Yeah, this is. I would want him. I would want, like, honestly, it would be great if they did. Okay, I know they've done Batman figures, but give me like one that you could tell it's Michael Keaton in the cowl. I know they did the the Flash figure with him without the cowl on. But are you going to give us a Linda Carter Wonder Woman?
Yes, that's coming too.
It is? Okay, good.
That was kind of leaked. And there's another version of 1978 Superman, but I don't know if it's going to be like an all gold one or but maybe I can see.
Oh, like the gray prototype ones that they've done.
Yeah, like he doesn't do that a lot. I don't think he does that too much with DC. But like you've seen Batman, he's done comic colors, and
Yeah.
let's just say he is the DC license, action figure maker. He will make Clark Kent. He will make a phone booth. He will make anything and
but I will
every
say this
of Superman and Batman.
If I do get him,
that ever existed.
If I do get him, you bet your ass I'm printing these crystals.
Yeah, those look like they're mass produced. So
yeah,
that might be like a New York City Comic Con deluxe version that comes with some icicles.
I have transparent filament.
Nice.
And with a little bit of frosting, like airbrushing. You damn straight I can make those. I'll find some file that I can mess around with, and I'll make a whole bunch.
But yeah, I'm digging this, man. It's been rumored for a little while, and there's like a leaked list.
Yeah, I mean, personally, I just wish the crest was a little bit raised in a way.
It looks three-dimensional, which is weird.
It looks like maybe the side is raised a little bit. It just the S looks a little funky for some reason.
It's because there's a big white light in the middle of it.
Okay, but I mean, this is something I'm waiting for. And by the way, I accidentally clicked on Jaeger 101. So obviously he's doing a talking points video, guys. So please go ahead and check him out. Check out the video. I'm not just one of those guys who just clicks on something just to show a picture. I'm actually going to promote him. So we're going to throw his link in the chat. So if you guys are interested in this figure, check out the review. The link is in the chat right now.
So that's my soups.
I mean, yeah, I grew up watching. I watched when I was a kid, watched Nickelodeon. Like during the daytime, you had the old episodes of the George Reeves Superman.
Oh yeah.
But it was Christopher Reeve. Because why? Because the movie came out in 1978. I came out in 1978. I was born in 1978. So it's to me that he was my Superman.
It was a super year.
he was my Superman. Just like to me, I had a discussion with some people about Batman. Who's your favorite Batman? I'm like, live action. It's obviously Keaton. But
I like Batman as a character.
Mm-hmm.
So I tend to like all the Batmans because I like the character of Batman. He has, as you know from comics, mm-hmm. Earth 1 and Earth 2, and there's all these. That's why there's 100 different Batmans who are all the same character from Bruce Wayne, and they all have the same kind of origin story, but in different multiverses. But you can't call them multiverse in DC. It's something else or whatever. But I mean, Superman, I don't like him as a character, but I like Superman because of Christopher Reeves. I
mean, with the original Superman movie, which I can watch on repeat. Absolutely. I can watch it on repeat. Superior. Because I mean, we saw him. We saw him be emotional. We saw the character of Clark. We saw him lose his father. We saw him struggling to try and he wants to show off. And was it Glenn Ford that played his father? I think in that movie.
Yeah, well, it had humor to it, right? So it was a movie that kids I was a kid.
It was a movie a whole family could watch.
Yeah.
Gene Hackman, freaking amazing as Lex Luthor.
And one of his early movies.
I mean, it's it's just a great movie you can watch over and over again, and you see the whole. That was kind of what an origin story should be for a hero movie. You saw him, a good, decent chunk of before he was a hero, and you see him kind of battling back and forth with things, struggling with things. We saw Superman lose his shit when Lois dies. And he just damns everything that he's
fly around the earth.
Yep. He's like, oh, I'll just turn the earth. I'll just send it, rotate it backwards and undo time. But I mean, in the comics, you really didn't see Superman lose his stuff until later on, in the 90s. Right around Doomsday when he's about to die. I mean, you never really saw him lose his shit. But that was the thing. Christopher Reeve was Superman, and I can't wait for the documentary because I know the documentary I think is out.
Well, it's been out in the theaters,
Yeah,
but I think it's soon on. Like you can
on
watch it
digital. Yeah.
It's
I
not now.
don't know how I feel about James Gunn having his son play like a bit part in the movie. I get that his son is a reporter, is a newscaster in real life.
Mhm.
But I'm like, you see his son. Like I saw his son in an interview, and I could hear him in his son's voice.
And he does look
And,
like
and he's got the build. I'm like, James
he's
Gunn,
a big boy. Yeah, Christopher Reeve was a
why not get the son?
6'4", 250 pounds. He was a big dude, man.
Yeah.
In 1978.
You
And
know?
he's a handsome dude. Like,
And he didn't need a muscle suit.
no, they didn't.
That
Muscle
was-
suits didn't exist.
That was all him.
1978.
That was all
They-
him. I mean,
They
you
had
know,
Chewbacca suits, and that's about it.
yeah. And that's the thing. It's like, I'm like, well, why didn't you just have his son, like, approach his son, like, hey, would you be interested in being Superman?
Because he's not an actor.
Well, you know, I mean, he does, he's already in broadcasting, so it's not that far a fetch, but yeah, I get it.
To everything James Gunn's doing. I'm a huge fan. I'm pretty
Oh,
sure you are as well.
Well, you and I both can't wait for the next Peacemaker. Let's be honest.
Yeah, but we gotta wait till after Superman, though.
Yeah. So
I think
we'll be waiting a while.
I think he is in Superman, so we'll get a little oomph.
A little Peacemaker fix.
We'll get swear words in Superman because of Peacemaker. That's how I see it.
Yeah.
But James Gunn teased today. Super Dog, is that his name?
Crypto the Super Dog.
Showed Crypto in a photo.
Yeah, I saw that image. And I'm like, where are they? Are they like is this?
He's in space.
Yeah, but I'm thinking like, are they on the Watchtower? Is there an established Watchtower in this? Because we know that there's going to be a Hawk Girl. We know there's going to be Mr.
The one Green Lantern too, and Mr. Negative or whatever that guy's name is.
I'm blanking on his name. I'm blanking on his name right now. Mr. Terrific. Mr. Terrific is his name. Yeah. Which is cool to see.
Kyle Gardner Lantern.
Yeah, Kyle Gardner, played by Nathan Fillion.
So he'll be a funny character.
Why couldn't he be Hal? Or is it because that they're going to be doing that Max series? I
know Green Lantern a little bit. I know Batman a lot more, but I know Green Lantern. I'm pretty sure that character can be a little more funny. Where the other two Green Lanterns, Hal Jordan, and like he's announced.
Well, Guy Gardner, he's actually a dick half the time. Like he can be real ass. So
that can't be like Ryan Reynolds or
no.
It can't be a funny guy.
But
the guy playing Kyle Gardner is a funny guy. Like he is a funny man.
And
like,
Nathan's voice,
a good dramatic actor because I think he's so funny. And I don't know. It's not because of like his. I'm not going to say it. He's a
Nathan
funny guy.
Has actually voiced Hal. He's voiced Hal Jordan in several DC animated movies.
And he's also been in every James Gunn thing.
Yeah.
Same with James Gunn's brother. I'm concerned.
Sean's going to be in this one too,
which is cool. He's done great in every single one of them. I've never disliked his role in anything James has done, but I'm curious what his role will be in Superman because I'm sure it'll be a fun one. The only other tease he did really was he showed a guy at a campfire with his shirt off, and it looked like
I'm wondering if that's Rooker.
Couple of braided ponytails.
I'm wondering if that's Rooker.
It's possible, but I think it's Warpath. I think it's a Native American Aboriginal DC character that gets no love.
Okay, let me see here. I'm trying to pull up.
I don't think that Rooker character is a huge DC character. And why would you even tease that? It's not a. Actually, that was for the Peacemaker show.
Sean Gunn.
Superman.
Sean Gunn is playing Maxwell Lord. If you know who that is, in Superman
and he's
Legacy,
playing like a crazy alien in the cartoon movie.
Well, and Maxwell Lord is think like a. I don't want to say a budget version of Lex Luthor, but he's kind of like a Lex Luthor type person where he's a millionaire. He's
Okay.
a businessman who was at one point an ally of the Justice League, but in the Supergirl series, he was actually like her Lex Luthor, so to speak.
He'll have a key role.
Yeah.
Like it won't
Yeah.
be like third tier actor in the whole show, but
Yeah, he
it'll
like
be a-
like,
it'll
like
be
he
a
won't
good
be
role.
he won't be the friggin' weasel in the second Suicide Squad movie. Like he's actually going to have a meteor kind of a role in there. So I mean that's something.
Yeah, I like him. So seeing how he's, we know about this Superman, and now there's a rumored Linda Carter, which would be awesome because it'd be my first
I
one.
mean,
Linda Carter, Wonder Woman figure.
Let's put the cards on the table, Rick. Linda Carter still looks great.
Absolutely, she does.
When she did that little cameo at the end of Wonder Woman 84,
Yeah.
For her age, man, damn.
Yeah, and if you see, I posted a picture of me and Lou Ferrigno today. Lou Ferrigno,
Yeah, I
think,
saw
is
that.
72 years old. Like he looks like
Lou looks
10 years
freaking
younger
great.
than me.
Lou Ferrigno looks freaking great for his age, man.
He does.
I mean, that's the thing. Some people age well. Some people, Helen Hunt, not so much. I saw her from a distance at the Fan Expo in August. She looks terrible. She looks like she could be about 70, maybe 80 right now, maybe 80. I mean, she looked bad. But but some people
years older than me. She's probably younger than 60 though.
There's a actor by the name of Joe Cirillo who is the cop in Ghostbusters 1.
Yeah.
Joe Cirillo, he's been at our Comic Cons joining my group because he'll do autographs and stuff. He's like 93. And you can tell. I mean, he looks like he's maybe about 65, maybe 70, but he's in his 90s and he drives him. He gets around on his own and just fantastic.
Different people Ric Flair as an example. Ric Flair is right. Woo!
Yes, woo!
He
The Nature Boy
when he was 30.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? Like he's one of those. And I'm not saying he was ugly. He just looked old when he was young, and then even now, I think he's younger than. Well, he's in his 70s, low 70s, but he does look like he's 140 though. Like I know other people that are 70 and
Joe Cirillo right there.
Yeah.
But
like the same age as Lou Ferrigno, they don't look like they're the same age.
Yeah, I mean that's the thing. But I mean, this figure I'm probably at some point gonna get him because it's Christopher Reeve.
Oh yeah.
When did we ever get a Christopher Reeve action figure?
This is it.
That's affordable. Let's just say. I know they make a 1/6 scale figure, but those cost money. I do have a few. Like I got my Doc Brown recently. I got to give me a Marty McFly, but I'm trying to find deals on them.
I don't like the character enough to have a 12-inch doll of it. That's only the coolest of the coolest for me, because I don't have any Hot Toys yet.
Yeah.
Only my favorite of all of the characters I would need represented in that toy line. So
yeah.
I don't think Superman is that character. I don't think Batman is that character. I think that character is definitely from Star Wars or
Vader.
From Lou Ferrigno, or like I would love a Lou Ferrigno inspired action figure. But if they made it a hot toy, I would be interested because that's a character I've loved since I was a child.
Would you now? Here's a question: would you only want a Lou Ferrigno, or what if they also had a Bill Bixby?
Well, I have no desire for a Bill Bixby hot toy. Bill Bixby 6-inch action figure, absolutely.
But what if like a 3-0?
I want Ed Norton Hulk. Ed Norton is after Lou Ferrigno. Ed Norton is my favorite Hulk.
Yeah,
he was my favorite Banner. Was he Banner or was he another character?
No. Ed Norton was a Banner. He was Bruce Banner.
Who was not Banner?
Well,
Bill Bixby.
Well, he was David Bruce Banner.
Yeah, it was a little different, but yeah, I like all the. Ed Norton's my favorite Banner, and he's actually my favorite Hulk.
Well, I mean, he was definitely a way better Banner than the friggin' Eric Bana.
Yeah, and
Or
he didn't suck.
the Nick Nolte Hulk movie that they did.
Yeah, he didn't suck.
Yeah.
Both of them are
No,
great actors.
he didn't suck, but I mean, like, I think Norton was just way better.
But Ed Norton to me was a closer fit to like what we know as today the
Yeah.
MCU and
Like
stuff like that.
he was like not just
I believe
not
that's
just,
canon in the MCU as well.
not just physically, but like the way he conveyed how he portrayed Bruce was it felt more akin to like I said, I'm a Bill Bixby fan.
Yeah, he was like because
Okay.
he's a little more fragile.
Yeah.
And the
Yeah.
modern one we have from the
And
MCU.
I mean,
he's a smart, intelligent, tough guy.
nothing
And
against
he's also-
Ruffalo. Nothing against Ruffalo. And they are friends, I read in real life. You know. But I think a lot of people would still, if they could choose, they would probably still choose Norton.
Oh, I would. I was
Yeah. And it's
before
crazy.
Deadpool came out, a year before Deadpool 2 came out.
Uh-huh.
My dream and my my left coast theory was Ed Norton will be in the Hulk. And I listed off like 20 different things and cameos I wanted to see. All of them came true except Ed Norton as the Hulk. They showed the Hulk they showed was a Hulk that's never existed in any Marvel. It was the gray Hulk because it was just a reflection in Wolverine's claw.
Well, think about this. We have now here's your theory. You'll probably love this. In the Thunderbolts, we're getting what's his name? Stearns from
Solo Hulk.
Huh?
We're getting Han Solo as Hulk. How freaking badass!
We're getting that, but we're also getting what's his name at the end of Ed Norton's movie. Remember they?
Yes. Well, he was in She-Hulk as well.
Was his what was he the leader?
Abomination.
No, the leader.
Yeah, we're getting the leader and the Abomination.
Yeah, we're getting the Abomination, and that was a friggin' piss on the character when they had him in She-Hulk.
I'm pretty sure that the Incredible Hulk with Ed Norton is the only Hulk movie other than current ones to be canon, because they pulled all those characters, like all of them, except for the general who has passed away. But
what if we get him?
But
what if
all
we
we
get
need
him in
is
Secret Wars
now and Ed Norton, and we're laughing.
Well, what if we get Norton back in Secret Wars? What about that?
I think we will.
How would you feel about that? Huh?
That's why I thought Deadpool was the ultimate spot to do that, because Deadpool's bringing back Blade.
Well, the multiverse.
That's the new Blade. There's no other. There will never be another actor for Blade, in my opinion.
You got the next Doctor Strange, because remember at the end of Doctor Strange 2, he went off into the universe with what's her name, Charlize Theron.
I would too. I would never come back.
You and me both. You know. But I mean, that's the thing. It's like, I mean, with Secret Wars, we're hearing rumors of all these people who are supposed to be dead, who are going to be, or the characters have been gone or from other universes potentially coming back. So, I mean, who knows? Is it likely? Probably not, but it's something nice and fun to think about.
Do you have a favorite MCU, movie or, trilogy or, character type of thing?
As far as the MCU, Iron Man 1 is still a big favorite of mine.
Me too.
I love Iron Man 1 and No Way Home. Spider-Man No Way Home, because I mean, yes, we got the different Peters. We got Toby and we got Andrew Garfield. Andrew Garfield is still one of my favorite Spider-Man ever.
Yeah, that was my
to me Amazing Spider-Man. I really enjoyed him.
Yeah.
So to see him come back and the potential of, I honestly would love to see another Andrew Garfield Spider-Man movie. Now that we've seen that he's, after Gwen, he says, after a while, I stopped pulling my punches. Like, he went down a dark road.
I think it's those,
I would kind of like to see that.
I think that option is still open.
Oh, yes.
I think because of the Sony involvement and Universal involvement, with as well as the Disney involvement,
Well, as long as the people
makes it that much more complicated. But I think all three of those actors could all each get another standalone Spider-Man movie from their universe, no problem. I think it's just the licensing things like Sony.
Well, we know
Universal
Tom is going to be
want
moving forward.
80% of it.
We know Tom's moving forward with Spider-Man. I wouldn't mind. I mean, I know a lot of people. We have another guest.
Hey,
Is the Archer.
I had to catch you at the end.
So
that's the best part.
Here's the thing. Since we were talking, what are your thoughts? I'm going to pull it back up.
Oh, let me see if I can rotate my screen so I'm not the only.
You're gonna sit and rotate. What? Huh?
It should work. If you hold it a second. There you go.
There we go.
So let's pull it back up.
Happy birthday.
It's just another day.
Oh, was it your birthday, Dave?
Yeah, today, October 15th, 1978. I was hatched out of my my canister.
Happy birthday, buddy.
I'm 46, and I can proudly say I have no grays.
Wow.
Which is funny.
You can't see your back.
Hey.
Or can you?
That's for the OnlyFans.
Hey, I got to make my money somehow, right? So, how do you feel about this Ecto? And the fact that, because remember, haven't I been saying I don't see it succeeding unless we get figures, and now we get figures, and I joked about, it'd be great if we got Ghostbusters 2, and they're freaking Ghostbusters 2 figures. I'm like, now if only what we really need is for me to hit the lottery. No, that's not gonna work. But
the only way I get that is if I hit the lottery.
But how good these pictures look phenomenal. The lights look so damn bright. So
now, would I be safe to say, Dave, because you're more in the Ghostbuster community in the Facebook groups and whatnot, the Plasma series or the Mattel 6-inch Ghostbusters, if you are a above average Ghostbuster fan and you're an adult collector like we all are, chances are you have the original 4 Ghostbusters in either Mattel or Hasbro or Matty Collector, or
yes, I do.
You probably have those, right?
I do have the Mattel.
You got multiples. I think it's a good move that they went for the second movie with this because it's still retro. It's still in the 80s. What year would Ghostbusters 2 be?
89.
89. So that's cool, man. Like I really dig any toy company digging back to stuff before 90s because right now what's popular is stuff that was made in the 90s because once
Street
stuff gets
Sharks,
25 years old,
everything's coming back.
My Buddy and Mask, like once things get 25 years old is when they become retro. So 89 to me, it's still kind of vintage, and that's my era. Like because I do have the Mattel figures. Yeah. From Ghostbusters 1, I have the guys in their powder blue lab coats from part 1. And you got those too, yeah.
I have those, and you guys know I'm an out of box collector, except for those. Okay, those are still in their packaging because the packaging looks great, and I have the Ghostbuster 2 figures from the courtroom scene.
So the Mattel figures that came out, as well as the Plasma series, are they like almost exact same height?
Well, let me grab some
because I've had them both, but I never had them at the same time. I believe they are both 6-inch scale, right? So, and Mattel's articulation, I'm trying to think. I'm looking at wrestling figures. Mattel's not as articulated, are they?
I feel like Mattel's usually in the 7 scale.
They're a little bigger?
The wrestlings are 7.
Yeah, the wrestling, I think, are 7-inch scale. So you may be right.
Yeah.
Okay, so let me actually remove this.
Diamond Select, I think, also would have been 7.
Because I'm thinking I had to wave that.
So here's your Plasma series figure, right?
Yeah.
No,
there's like a 5. That's the other thing too. Those are technically like a 5. They're not really 6-inch scale.
The Hasbro one?
If you put them next to any Marvel Legend, they're shorter by a lot.
They shouldn't be. They advertise it as a 6-inch 1/12 scale.
It's about 6. It's about 6 inches. I'm measuring it right now.
Next to Marvel, put it next to Marvel Legend. So then Marvel
Okay.
Legends are taller than 6.
Maybe a little bit because they're all like in armor or
Yeah.
they work out. You know what I mean? Like, I get it. Like,
I will say
unless
that
they
the
make a
Mattel
Rick
looks
Moranis
slightly
Marvel
bigger.
Legends. Yeah, those are
Yeah.
good looking figures.
Comparing that to this,
Yeah.
That's
it
7
definitely
inch.
looks slightly bigger.
Yeah, is that Diamond?
No, this is Mattel. This is the Maddie Collector collection.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was 7 inch.
Yeah.
Yep. This
So-
is them from the courtroom scene.
If you don't put him right beside Bill Murray in his Ghostbuster uniform, and you know how to take a photo, you maybe put him behind him, you can make them work, like in photography.
There you go, Archer.
This is gonna be a shot. Well, I'll give my 2 cents on the whole thing. So, I think it's a miss. Well, actually, here I'll just say what I think. If I was Hasbro, what I would do, I would first of all, I don't know why the pictures are only the 1A. I feel like it should have been also 1, but well, let's assume it's 1A. If I'm them and I want to make the most money, I'm doing 2 tiers, like we all think they're going to do. Tier number 1 is the 1A. The stretch goals are the figures that we saw of, what was it, Tully? Rick Moranis, whatever his name is, I'm forgetting. The librarian and Slimer. So those are your 3 tiers for the base ordering, which is just the Ecto 1A. The higher tier is all of that, but you get all 4 figures by default in the navy blue. Then down the road, I'm going to announce that the movie 2 figures are going to come in khaki with the 2 logo sold individually. Okay. So that's how you appease those who only want to buy the baseline, but you also make the Haslab even more special because the only way to get the navy blue flight suit / gray flight suit is if you back the higher tier.
Yeah.
Now, I don't see how that's going to be anywhere outside of $500 if you're getting the higher tier. Because
I think Hasbro would no longer have that Ghostbusters license if it was $500. They would have it taken away from them.
No, but here's the thing: like you have a company you have a franchise like GI Joe that they own, and even they can't make a vehicle for less than $275 was the cheapest Haslab.
Mm-hmm.
And that's its 2 figures. So this thing baseline has to be 400. Base.
Well, like what you said, which is a very good point. This color, like the color of Rick Moranis, in Ghostbusters 2, they wore that tan color, with the updated patch, as well as that dark gray one, because they even had the news. One of them had a new
Ghostbusters 2 right there.
Pack,
yep.
Right? Didn't Dan Aykroyd have that super proton pack?
Oh, the slime blowers, what you're thinking of. Him and Winston had slime blowers. So those could be exclusives.
Me and Dave were talking about, I'm sure a wave or 2 will come because of this to keep the popularity going and keep making money.
Yeah.
Absolutely, they would release individually the same figures, exact same sculpt, but in this color, and that would give people again an opportunity to get Ghostbusters. If they didn't have any at all, they could at least have the main crew. They just don't have the correct logo for the Ecto 1.
Yeah.
But I think they can't have those 2 tiers separated of the Ecto 2 upgrade and those 4 figures, because if you got one, then the other one it just becomes a waste of marketing time and money and photography skills and 3D printing, painting and
no, because they did it with the cantina, right? Where it's like,
but it doesn't change the cantina to be from Star Wars to Return of the Jedi. Do you know what I mean? Like the Ecto 1 car would be the base model.
Yeah.
The base model can't come with Ghostbuster 2 figures. The base model.
Oh, I must have missed a step. Sorry.
But you know what I mean, right? Like, so the only figures we've seen so far, and I don't think we're seeing more, are the 4 figures in dark gray, the main crew. Yeah. So they're from episode 2. So to separate those from that red bumper and the different doors. Actually, that must be a sticker because that quarter panel has a phone number and a checker tape on it. So that's a whole part as well. That quarter panel.
Wait, is somebody, sorry, I must be missing a step. Is somebody saying that they think that this is going to include additions to make it a 1A, but really it's a 1 that we're getting?
Yeah, it's in the photos. Both cars are in these leaked photos.
Can we go back to the photos? I must have missed that.
Yes.
Yeah, just scroll through them all.
Well, I mean, we have this.
Oh,
That's Ecto 1. So the Ecto 1 has license plates that say Ecto 1. Has Ghostbusters logo.
The checkered. Oh,
Yeah.
wow. Okay, I didn't catch
Ecto
that.
2 has those stripes up and down the side.
We do get the 1A right there, the bumper.
Yeah, so that'd have to be done in the front as well.
So they're gonna do what we suspected, which is it's a 1, and then you have the upgrades to make it a 1A, and that's how they're gonna get you to the $500 because you're gonna have to have different doors, different panels. They're not stickers. It's gotta be reversible.
Yeah, I see
So-
what you're saying. It's just too much. It's just too much money, man.
Yeah,
Like that's 800 plus Canadian.
yeah.
That
'cause they
rolls
always need
out
to get it.
75% of Canadian Ghostbuster collectors. So that's a month.
I will interject. There are people out there who will spend almost $1,000 to build a proton pack, if not more. So I'm sure there are some people who will
different,
spend the
though.
money. Some
Props
people are going to be
an
butthurt,
expensive hobby.
and then there's going to be those people who buy the extras and then flip them on the markets.
Hey,
We all
Vern.
know it's going to happen.
Vern made a comment. Maybe one of the tiers is to upgrade it to Ecto 1. Like go backwards.
No,
I think that would
it's
be
forward.
No, Ecto 1 I
race
think is
part
going to
if
be
they
your
did
base
that.
model. Definitely.
Yeah, because the Librarians number is the first movie anyway, so it makes sense that the base model is the 1 with the Librarian and Slimer. That makes total sense.
But yeah, looking at that quarter panel, that quarter panel is not the same on Ecto 1. Like Ecto 1 doesn't have the phone number, doesn't have that stripe tape, that
No, it
red
doesn't.
bumper. The back door has a different logo on it.
Imagine. It's like tier 1 is the Ecto 1. Tier 2 is you get both of them. Two
cars.
$1,000. They're gonna F you. They're gonna
Man, that's
F
a lot
you.
of parts. You consider 5 doors.
Where's Diddy when you need him? Where's the baby
5
oil?
doors? 5 doors is not a lot of parts. Okay,
No,
that's
but
cool.
but
But 5 doors, 2 rear quarter panels, 2 front quarter panels, because the front quarter panel also has different deco on it.
yeah, so it's a whole new car. So
And
they're
to
gonna
hold
have
the
2
roof.
vehicles. Yeah, they have 2 vehicles.
Hold on 1 second. I'm gonna.
But the parts can be swapped out. It's not
That's not what I want.
rocket science, right? Like
There we
they're
go.
a toy company. They can figure that out. And
Yeah,
then
but
to take the roof
Back
off,
here.
you
Go back
got
here.
one little plug that plugs into the battery pack.
Okay, so it is there. Okay,
Damn,
The-
yeah,
the
2
part.
things that light up.
I
7
don't know.
figures.
Yeah, but we can say this. Archer can report back to us next week because
Yeah,
he will
hopefully
see
it's
it
there
in NYCC and he'll
Yeah.
hopefully find out how's I want to know how is the siren going to sound? Is it going to have other sounds?
It's
Will
probably
it
too
play-
early. It's
will it
probably
play
too early
music?
for them to have a demo.
Yeah, if it has lights, it has sounds because it's not an.
But
Doesn't
see,
cost
that's going to be
extra.
interesting because that's going to be a Haslab demo with electronics in it.
Yeah,
Yeah, which they never do.
there's
They
somebody
never
working
do.
at Hasbro playing with it right now while we're talking about it.
Oh, what if? I mean, hey,
That's
hypothetically, right? Let's say because they've done right by the Ghostbuster stuff. I can't say that about everything, but hypothetically, let's say that they're releasing an Ecto 1, a non-Haslab, and then the 1A is a Haslab. I don't know, like there's chances, but I think
I don't think there's enough fandom.
I mean, that would be what you'd be talking about. What, 250 at least, if not more, because of the lights.
And at the end of the day, what's been getting me with these vehicles as I look at, old school, not even old school, but the way they used to make vehicles, and they still sell them at Target and Walmart, but like I go down the car section and there's cars there for like $25-$30. that are just basic
that
plastic
light up
die-
and have sounds and
Yeah, I'm like, get back to doing that kind of thing. We don't need everything to be die casts.
No.
Like the ramen racer stuff. Like, yeah, all of it's cool, but like, you can give me a even more basic version of that, and I'll buy it for $50. Like, I don't need all the stuff. So with the Ecto, it'd be great to have in the collection, but to the point you made earlier, I almost called you Rex. I'm sorry. God damn it. I'm trying to blank on your name again. Left Coast, is it?
Yeah,
Rick.
Yeah,
Rick.
Just call him Rick.
Rick. Sorry. To the point you're making earlier about scales. Like, I'm at the point too in collecting where like I'm tired of buying vehicles where like I can't put my GI Joe next to the Batmobile
Yeah, it's only
or have
one
a
shelf
Ghostbusters.
each.
Yeah, like it's dumb. So
Yeah, I have 3.75-inch vehicles, a lot of my vintage toys, and I can fit some of them
everything.
two of them per shelf.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
when I get the bread car and if I get future 6-inch vehicles, yeah, that's one item per shelf plus some adoring figures and stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, Vern and CB are giving some theories on tiers. There's no way they include like figures from Ghostbusters 2 with the Ecto 1 from Ghostbusters.
Yeah, because I mean,
it's breaking canon.
$25 figures, and for them, that's $100. That's $100 in figures right there, just alone for the 4 guys.
Yeah,
and then you figure Slimer.
Well, retail when you make the company, it's $25 worth of figures.
I mean the Gray Lady from the library, Slimer, and then Lewis. That's like $175 roughly if you were to sell them individually right there. Mm-hmm. So all those figures, like I'm honestly thinking that me personally, I don't think the figures are going to be a part of it, but I could be wrong. Yeah. I can see like a slime blower Ray and a slime blower Winston.
These photos are going to be photos that are on the Haslab webpage. That's where they came from. I don't know this, but that's where they came from.
But no, that makes sense, though. It does make sense.
So they're not going to use like figures and toys that aren't included in the set just for toy photography purposes. And you can tell they're 3D printed. Like they didn't create them from scratch just for photography purposes. These are figures they want to produce.
Yeah. But hey, I got to fly.
Yes, sir.
Thanks for having me on. Good talking to you guys.
Thank you for your input.
Yeah, and I will update you guys. Well, Anthony will be at the con on Thursday. Oh, sorry, he'll be there Friday.
Is that Rambling Spider?
Yeah, so he's going to be Spider-Man Friday, and that's when the reveal happens. So he'll get us some pictures and stuff.
Friday, right?
Yeah, and then I'll be there Saturday.
What's weird is Hasbro has some reveals Saturday, but I mean, the Haslab is the Ghostbusters is the only Haslab, so. Get that out there as soon as possible so everyone at the convention can see.
I'm sure they're going to be showing off other Haslabs, like maybe a little demo of 2 in a box before it finally gets released.
Yeah, I'm
hoping
this weekend they even give us a date, but they didn't send out the email yet about confirm your address, so we'll see. But I'll update you guys
soon.
Yeah, I'll update you guys as soon as I find out.
Have a good one.
Steve and Louie are not doing Ghostbusters this year, but you guys did talk about the costume that they are doing this year. So I'll let you guys conspire on what it's going to be. But I'll see you guys later. Bye.
Okay, take care, man. So there we are. We have Archer's input. Of course, he's going to see this firsthand. So if you guys aren't already following Nerd Affiliated, aka Hey Archer and Ramblin' Nerd, part of the Nerd Affiliated, please go ahead and subscribe to them because they're going to be there. They're boots on the ground. They're going to see it firsthand. So definitely, I'm sure Archer's going to have a lot to do next week.
I figured it out, Dave.
What?
I figured it all out.
Okay.
It took us an hour. Okay, so the last Haslab we're all comfortable or know about the Cantina.
Yes.
The Cantina had an option B to purchase.
Okay.
So I'm calling it right now.
2 Ectos to choose from.
a Left Coast Theory. No, a add-on pack, not a tier. An add-on pack you can buy will be the 4 dark gray figures and the car parts to make it Ecto 2 for like $150 or something. The base model car, Ecto 1, Slimer is a tier, Librarian is a tier, and maybe
the thing about that.
But I think now an ad, because Buddy's pricing is, he's getting close now. 4 doors, 2 hatchbacks, 2 rear quarter panels, 2 front quarter panels, a whole new roof system. That's another $100 now. So
the problem my wallet is going to have with that is
now $399 is my price. I think it's going to be $399.
See, the problem with that is, even if I don't want to make it into an Ecto 1A,
I don't think most people want to make it into a 1A. That's
I'm gonna want those. I'm gonna want those figures in the gray suits, though. That's
so
the
then
$150.
$150.
That's how they hook you in. That's how they hook you in there.
Pack is worth it, isn't it? Then.
Yeah, I mean.
But then again, if you didn't buy the Ecto 1, you'd have a bunch of fenders and doors and 4 figures.
But
if they allow that.
But also, if you do that, if you decide to not make your Ecto and Ecto 1 and you go for the gray figures, you can still sell the parts to convert it into an Ecto 1A on eBay, Mercari, and other places, and make a few bucks that way.
With the figures, right?
Well, I mean, going back to the first Haslab for Ghostbusters, the Proton Pack had a slime edition that you could put like these rubber slime parts on.
The stupidest things I've ever seen. The same with the marshmallow edition.
In the marshmallow,
the stupidest thing I've ever seen.
And guess what?
That should be fired.
People were buying those. People were selling them, and other people were buying them. Believe it or not.
Yeah,
they're making money on it.
You buy them from Spirit Halloween for $3. Like
make them yourself. You know.
Yeah, buy a bucket of I don't know. If I was in the marketing department, someone came up with that, I'm like, from now on, you just keep quiet and don't bring up ideas because those are stupid ideas. Like you think the patches are a stupid idea. Well, they're a throw-in.
The quality of the patches. I mean, personally, I've bought better patches from other Ghostbuster groups.
Well, like I said, there's no such thing as a better quality patch. Like, there's good quality, which that looks like a good quality patch.
Yeah,
I have seen better. And then it's really bad quality. It depends how cheap the embroiderer is. It's either high stitch count or low stitch count. And the lower stitch count, they're cheaper and faster to make. Those are the ones I'm looking for.
You can see it just looks terrible, you know?
Yeah, instantly, yeah. Because they're not 3D renders usually when we see a photo of a patch.
But
man, that Ecto 1A build-up pack, I don't see it being a tier now because it's too much. Because I can't see the 4 figures being an additional tier, because if they don't both get backed, then it's a waste.
Well, it's going to be interesting to see what they actually announce the Haslab, what the pricing is, how they're going to do the tiers. Are they going to announce the tiers, or are they going to say, oh, well, tier 1 is this, and then the unlockable tiers 2, 3, and 4 will be announced once we reach those goals?
Well, good thing you said that, because what I was just saying about the only tiers right now, I think, are the Librarian and Slimer.
Okay.
So yes, I think there's a good idea for them to market it.
Do you think that those are going to be a tier together or separate tiers?
No, tier 1 and 2, Librarian and Slimer. Okay. They're both from Ghostbusters 1 with the Ecto 1 as the base model. Let's call it $350 still, because I think that's a benchmark for a lot of stuff like this, because they got to pay licensing and stuff. And then build up pack, buy the parts and the figures, another $150, like they did with the Cantina, because that Cantina, they introduced that option 1, option 2 thing, and it ended up being kind of a popular thing, I think, for the most part. So I think that means it was successful. And based
I love what Vern put. I'm going to get those figures from Ross next year.
Maybe a gray version, but not the black dark gray version. Yeah, man. I think we figured it out, Dave. Or, in my opinion, I think they have to make.
I mean,
a
it definitely
separate
sounds
top
reasonable.
tier.
I mean, that's the thing.
Because that's all the panels, everything but like the car. Because it's not just here's a sticker pack. Because one doesn't have a ladder and different lights, different bumper, different license plates, which is not a lot of parts. Like some Build-A-Figure toys come with more parts than that. But I mean,
Yeah.
But 4 doors and 2 hatchbacks, a ladder.
Here's that cantina you're just talking about.
Yeah, how much was the add-on pack? So there, okay, let's say it's gonna be
$400 here. That's what the whole thing is priced, right?
No, that's not the whole thing. That's without the add-on pack.
That's without it. Okay,
I believe so. Yeah, because it's not in the picture. That's one side of the cantina and the middle. Just keep going down. Modular. Now there's the second
offering
tier.
is made of an external entry facade, CD surroundings. Make it your own.
So that's just a freebie. Stickers are a freebie. Now then here's
the deluxe pack. Get the deluxe pack. And this is what you're talking about here, right?
Yeah. So that to me is the equivalent to 4 to 6 doors, 2 bumpers, 2 license plates, and a roof rack.
I mean, there could be more that we don't even know yet, potentially speaking. Like the slime blowers. We haven't seen the slime blowers, but we get everyone in gray suits.
Yeah, and you don't see it in any of the photos because they're in the car. And that one photo where they're outside the car is quite far away. It's a lower res photo. It's weird that because I got these photos, I saw on Twitter this morning that Vern posted them, and then I saw better photos and more photos on a Facebook post. So I pulled from both of them, and they both had different photos. So there's like a total of 8 photos, I think, and they're all different sizes. And I'm like,
yeah, because
why are 3 of them square and 7 of them are long?
Because I mean, the first one that I saw was, and it was immediately taken down. In fact, where was it? It was a site called In Demand Toys, and that was at 8:47 a.m. Eastern.
Yeah, they're
on
a
Monday
Hasbro
morning
reseller, so they don't want to get in bad, things
and
with Hasbro.
They got, I guess they took the page down immediately. So, and I know people were going crazy on Reddit and everywhere else, from what I've heard. So, but yeah, I mean, you're probably hitting the nail on the head, because this is probably going to be a trend. Like, oh, by the way, here's our base model, but
it's a money making idea too. Like it would back without that.
Yeah.
Right, but it would back without that if it had the original characters. Like, not Slimer and the Librarian aren't driving the Ecto-1 anywhere. Does Rick Moranis drive it in Ghostbusters 2? But then again, it's Ghostbusters 2 Rick Moranis, because he didn't wear that overall in part 1.
The thing is, here's the thing: Slimer, they should definitely have Slimer with a bus driver's hat, because Rick Moranis didn't drive. He actually catches the bus and Slimer's driving it. So that would be hilarious if they throw in a little hat to go with Slimer.
Then it would work.
Yeah, it would make sense.
It could officially be driven. And you have to play with your old Ghostbusters toys, or buy the next wave when we release it at on Amazon in 2 months, because it's coming. That they will announce other figures.
Oh yeah,
Friday.
Because like I said, if they can, with Ghostbusters 2, I mean, they could really open everything up, because you can get the Judge, you can get the Scolari brothers. I think those are ones you're going to want to have. There's different ghosts that they can have different ghosts in there. I think
Ghosts.
Vigo.
I think Ghosts will be the only
Vigo the Carpathian and Janosch, I think, are some of the ones because they had those in Diamond Select, and I think in Matty Collector they had those. Walter Peck from the first film,
Yeah.
William Atherton. I think that's definitely one people are going to want to have. I mean, you could do. I mean, we've seen them do variations of different movie characters before, right?
Your
I mean,
regional, it's like how many people bought Aunt May.
Yeah,
Like they had to put her in a 2-pack because they couldn't give her away on her own.
But also she did not look like proper Aunt May either. I mean, there's that.
Proper Aunt May isn't Marissa Tomei. So that's not.
Yeah.
That's the Aunt May that we would bang.
Point
that's
made.
Not what Aunt May looks like though. Aunt May is grandma.
Hey. But I mean,
well, yeah. So now I'm
if it's successful, if it's successful,
how they can make the Ecto 2?
Well, here's a question. Here's a question. Now that we've had a proton pack, we've had the 2 in a box, which is the PKE meter in a Ghost Trap, which is coming out later this year. I can't wait to. I actually held the prototypes, and so did Archer at Ghostbusters Day in New York when the Haslab people were there. I can't wait for them. It feels like real props.
That's why I compared.
But the question is,
to toys, they're 2 different items. They're 2 different collector communities.
Let me ask you,
and they're 2 different price points. They're completely different price points.
So now that we've done a complete set of props to make anyone a Ghostbuster, just about, there's exceptions to those rules, but within reason. Okay, we've jumped to now doing like a vehicle, a toy. What comes after this? What could be the next potential Ghostbuster Haslab after this, in your opinion? And I know you're not into it as deep as I am.
Well, I think,
but you grew up with Ghostbusters.
No, I hear you. I'm going with you in this. So as far as I think, like the
future Haslab,
prop replica aspect of it, I think the only winner item would be goggles.
What would you pair the goggles with? Because just to sell goggles,
pretty big prop. Like if you go buy ski goggles now, they cost $100, and that's just anti-fog polycarbonate with some foam and plastic.
Now,
these have some metal parts and some paint apps, and
I have a couple of the Spirit Halloween goggles,
and it would light up.
But I've heavily modified them. Yeah. And those are around like maybe about $34.
Do you have them there?
I'm trying to think.
Do you use them for your cosplaying, or just an additional?
Oh no, I use them for the cosplay. I repainted them. I heavily modified them. You can buy there was 3D printed add-on kits we get through a guy called Spongeface McGee on eBay.
So is there an officially licensed prop replica company that makes Ghostbusters goggles or Eon's goggles or just Spirit Halloween?
No, it was like Spirit Halloween, or there's a few like knockoffs.
That's what it would be. That's what I'm like. I think it would definitely. I think that's the only part of your
Matty Collector
costume that's missing, isn't it?
Years ago, Matty Collector had made goggles that actually interacted with the wands and the ghost traps and everything, so you can actually see a floating Slimer in it. Okay, those obviously were very expensive, and they felt very heavy.
There is one that exists.
Yeah, but those have been off the market probably for about maybe 10 or 15 years, maybe.
Yeah, I think that'd be a winner, and I think it'd be if Hasbro was smart on the Star Wars side of things. Like they got so many different series. They got Black Series, Vintage Collection. They got Black Series helmets. They got Retro Collection. They got so many things that they could do Haslabs for.
You could do the radio.
I don't see Hasbro going the cosplay route for a Haslab for Star Wars because the Rey lightsaber failed. The helmets they can make for $100, $150 now, so they don't need to Haslab them. Well, and there's not really Star Wars, unless they made a full metal blaster. The Black Series lightsabers are fantastic. They're gorgeous prop replicas, and now they're up to $300+ now. Like they used to be $100. Now they're not $100. Now they're $350.
Like you're saying, with goggles, you could do Now this is a Spirit Halloween radio, but I heavily painted it so it looks legit. Right? They have it where they'll play like an excerpt from the movie.
It's right here, Ray. It's looking at me.
You know,
He's an
and
ugly little spud, isn't he?
That was Dan Aykroyd. I
Yeah.
could tell because he said,
Yeah.
"Hey."
and the thing is, there's actually kits out there. So these have like your basic settings, and then like a basic, like you can just play and cycle through like a list of sayings.
That's
And
cool.
then
That's cool while you walk around.
There's an additional board you can put in here that has even more sayings from the different movies, and there's even an interactive mode. So if you're just talking, it can actually respond.
That's cool. To be honest, I don't think a walkie-talkie would be any interest for someone to Haslab it,
or
unless it came with goggles and a wand,
or the belt gizmo, but you connect it to like an EMF reader. So if it's picking up on different fields, it's lighting up.
You're digging deep, man.
Yeah.
You have to think of something that would bring in people who aren't already Ghostbuster fans.
But these are like you're saying for cosplay.
Yeah, but like to finish off what you've already got, you bought from Hasbro. You bought the backpack from Hasbro.
Okay.
You bought the wand.
Mm-hmm.
All Hasbro hasn't made yet is the actual freaking jumpsuit,
which they'll never
and the
do.
Goggles. Everything else you can get at a dollar store, like a walkie-talkie and a wire and a seat, like because they're 80s. Like these are props that were made in the 80s. On much like Star Wars props,
yes.
There was a flash handle, but I know a lot of the greeblies and the parts that go on the backpacks. Hasbro's not going to dig that deep and sell a tier of greeblies, or the green slime was a greebly to them,
or they do a run of the Proton Pack that's 84,
a different version.
That's what a lot of people want.
Yeah, they could do that.
I know a lot of people who actually, when they got the Afterlife Proton Pack,
or just parts. Just parts to change it up.
They took everything out. Like they took everything off. They painted it black so it looked like 84. They changed out the parts heavily. But that's the thing. That's also a thing that we knew. When they made the Proton Pack, they made it with fans in mind because they knew fans would modify them.
Yes, and they had priority was to make it like the Afterlife, though, right?
Yeah, they made it look like Afterlife, but people took it further. Like they got rid of those little copper rubber wires and they put actual wires on them.
Yeah,
I actually did that, but with black wires on mine.
I watched a couple of different videos, mini documentaries on the Canadian guy who worked on those and built those for the movie and for Hasbro, which is pretty cool. You're making movie props. And you're making a toy, like based on your.
I 3D printed the arm.
They made a toy based on the exact same piece.
I 3D printed the arm. That's going to go. I'm going to replace it on my Haslab because I'm making the Haslab look like Frozen Empire.
Yeah.
I already have the yellow bumper on it. I'm changing out a lot of parts on it to slowly turn it into Frozen Empire. So.
And now you're going to get a red jumpsuit then?
Well, there is no red jumpsuit. They wear red coats.
Oh, it was just a jacket.
It's a red winter jacket, but the thing is, they don't make big boy sizes.
No, I know.
No, seriously, they go up to like a 2X, but the 2X fits people like a 1X.
For when it comes to overalls, they make them in all people's sizes because people's sizes work on farms and drive tractors and go to jail and drive trucks. Not just skinny size 1 people.
Well, that's the thing. Like for me, sometimes I'll do like the khaki one I have. I actually wear it's a khaki like mechanic coveralls.
Yeah. And I wear extra large and
I have
everything.
A black suit.
I'm pretty sure I could fit in a medium overalls.
Oh yeah.
Because they're so big, right? Like they're meant to go over your jeans and over your sweatshirt.
Your basic true spec flight suit goes up to about a 3, like a 3X. So yeah, you can I mean, a lot of people can get them, but some of the bigger size guys, we kind of have to, make do with what we have.
Yeah. No, there's always places.
But yeah, I mean, like as far as like cosplay. As far as cosplay, I mean, we have the PK, we have the trap. The trap can actually be converted into Ghostbusters 1 or 2. Yeah, because they had the silver rod on it. Yeah, so
with that before, where they upgrade it for a different movie, like with the proton packs and the meter, like you said, they can change it to
unless they try and say, oh, for $500, you can get yourself a containment unit.
Yeah. Well, there's a cardboard one.
Yeah. It's was it Party Time? I think it is Party Time or something like that.
Cardboard paper product.
Yeah. Hold on.
More of them.
It's actually on sale right now.
Good. It's sold out apparently.
Let me double check because one of my teammates actually sent me the link earlier.
But I think that's a realistic item. Like if it's unlicensed or not, it's a good idea because it's inexpensive to produce, and a diehard fan would get it because it wouldn't be $400. Yeah.
Okay, this is through Prime Party, and it was $69.99. It's on sale for $64.99, and sometimes they do have coupon codes. But that is a totally
just generic, not licensed or property to anyone. It's a $20 item. It's cardboard.
It's cardboard, but I mean, you could throw your traps in there. I mean, personally, as someone who does cons and stuff,
that's great.
You can definitely throw this up as a facade, but it's cardboard, so it's going to wear down over time.
But it's just it's a cheapy item you put in your garage or your man cave.
I also know someone who is ordering this, and they're using it so that they can find the dimensions of everything, and then make it themselves.
Well,
out of wood and aluminum panel.
Save $65 and just download the photo to your desktop. It's all square. There's no.
Yeah.
It's like very limited 3 dimensions, so it's this wide. It even says in this post somewhere how wide and tall it is.
Oh, whoa! We don't need no copyright. No thanks.
Yeah,
this is a video to show you how to put it together. But the thing is, it's cardboard, and
that's a good idea. It's a good idea. He'll have a couple extra bucks this Christmas. This guy, if he was able to get it into Spirit Halloween and stuff this year, now he's a millionaire. Because it's unlicensed, he's making lots of money. He's even making this video with the Ghostbusters sign behind him, right?
Yeah,
which is fine. He's not doing anything illegal.
It doesn't live on casuals.
Except
it doesn't have
the word Ghostbusters cardboard containment unit. That could get him shut down.
Archer's saying here, Ghostbusters doesn't live on casuals. It doesn't have casual appeal anymore. So if they go on previous sales, they can do goggles and Gizmo. But 200 would be the top end. Yeah.
It wouldn't be.
I agree with that.
Item. Could be cool though. Like I can see some, green tinted glass or whatever they do now and light it up a little bit.
Up. Etsy, because you can go to Etsy and people are making. I'll put Ghostbuster Belt Gizmo. That's what it's called. That is the technical term. Belt Gizmo.
Now, if you see the best one and the seller has sold 30,000 of them,
look at this, $170
would make. But I guarantee you that they haven't sold more than
Now this is this is what you would consider a stunt one, because as the guy shows you here, it's rubber, but from a distance you can't tell. And half the time, if you're outside in the light, they're not going to see any lights on it. If you're out in sunlight, it looks perfectly fine. And a lot of times you're bending around, but that's $170 right there.
Yeah, that's $155 profit.
Here's another one, $46. This is budget Gizmo. It won't light up, but all this stuff is like stickers with a few greebles of electrical wires here and there, and that's about it.
Yeah, it looks great.
Yeah, from a distance, you can't tell. Or something like this, $81. There's a remote, so you can actually make it light up, different colors.
That comes with one of those $20 LED sets.
But this is also made a little bit more beefier, a little bit stronger connection or construction. There's the lights right there.
Yeah, there's the Paul Rudd jacket.
$81. That's great right there.
Some people, are doing well on Etsy. But what I don't know what people have to be
$107. Yeah.
worried about is Etsy. None of that stuff is allowed in Etsy, but you get away with it. Like,
Yeah.
Etsy's is everything on Etsy is actually supposed to be handmade, which includes using like a Cricut or a laser cutter,
3D printer.
That's part of handmade now. It wasn't 20 years ago. 20 years ago was just sewing and painting and cutting with scissors, and that's what handmade was. Like now it's a little different. But every time you see a Ghostbusters logo or the word Ghostbusters, that's all. It's all trademark infringement. It's not allowed. Etsy should not even allow it on there. But because Etsy makes fucking 40% of the profit,
almost $230
sellers, Etsy doesn't care because they make more money off the customers
exactly
than eBay does at this point. So Etsy's a scam. I'll never use it again. They still owe me money to this day.
It's that's, and let's take a look at like some
But Jesus. But that's what I mean. The prop replica people and prop, and cosplay people, they're almost the same, but they are different. There's a lot of people out there that buy prop replicas and don't ever dress up. They just like buying lightsabers and blasters and proton packs and helmets and cool prop replicas. But then there's that portion of that group is a cosplayer. Like you're also involved heavily in the cosplayer and doing that, building your own costumes and props, which is a part of cosplay. A part of cosplay is you build your stuff. You don't go on Etsy and buy 100% of the stuff. You buy things that you can't make and you add it to what you're making.
I'm looking at buying files so I can 3D print it myself.
Yeah, and that's the hobby. Yeah. That's being creative, and you're a maker at that point. But people who are prop replica collectors, they have no problem just going to a well-known maker and just paying them
$488.
Here's my $3,000 for that fully functional firing Darth Vader lightsaber.
$488 for this. You believe that?
That's great. Hasbro would do that for $199 or $100.
Or even if I could 3D print this from scratch, right?
You can make that. Those are real life things from the 80s that you can probably buy for less than $40.
You can probably buy yourself like a broken set of night vision goggles from back in the 80s.
Most of that's binoculars.
Yeah.
Looks like it could be even like a viewfinder from
but there are files
a welder's mask.
There's files to print this up, to print these parts off, and then print those.
Literally, go to Harm Hardware or
put green LEDs inside, and Bob's your uncle, and then you print out the labels yourself.
Yeah, I like that aspect of the cosplayers. Is that most of them, if not all of them, are heavily into building and sewing and painting and cutting foam and doing everything they got. That's why I love the cosplay aspect of seeing the people dress up at conventions and stuff. It's fantastic because they didn't just go to Spencer's or go to Walmart and buy one of those costumes for $30.
See, this right here,
cosplay is.
These are the files to download to make your own. So I could spend $20 right now, and I can download the files, and then I can just print my own, customize each part, paint it by hand,
and
put
you
it
can
together.
Take that 3 megabyte file, post it on Twitter, and email it to everyone in the world. So I think people that sell this kind of stuff online are not smart. You're basically it's kind of like if Marvel made all their comics, if they printed them, and then the day after they printed them, they put them on the internet in PDF form. Why would people ever buy hard copies of anything ever again?
Mm-hmm.
If that's why the digital world is a little scary when it comes to Hollywood. Like when we see Hollywood movies, like, oh, that only made $50 million on opening night. Yeah, it's because 3 billion people watched it for free on YouTube. That wasn't a thing in 1988. We couldn't watch Ghostbusters
this one
before it came out on YouTube. Now we can.
Rick, you'll like this one. Apparently, this one are 3D files where you could actually fit a small Polaroid
Oh,
into
Polaroid?
it.
That's a great idea.
You know, that's pretty damn smart right there.
Get some
So,
conversation starting when you're walking around the convention.
like here. Oh, you want a picture of yourself? Here you go.
$30, please.
Yep. You got your smoke kits for the proton packs for venting, or maybe for inside the trap.
Oh, is that something that's allowed at conventions?
This fogs, yeah. You can
Well,
definitely do like little smoke kits because
you
it's like vape pens for people.
And you can't. Vaping is illegal at these things,
Okay.
and that is using the exact same
Well,
and just tobacco-less.
well,
vape.
yeah. There's you probably don't know. There's people who have smoke kits for their packs and their ghost traps.
No,
and,
I know, but I mean,
well,
I'm telling
no,
you right now, you couldn't walk around a convention.
they
in
have
Canada
marshmallow.
with
They
smoke
have
coming out of
marshmallow
it.
flavor, like marshmallow scented solution that they put in there.
Yeah, you couldn't do that in Canada.
Okay.
I guarantee you couldn't do that in any major city in the States.
I actually saw someone at Fan Expo who's it was there. I think it might have been with one of the Ghostbuster groups out there, or maybe they're just guests dressed in Ghostbuster gear, and you could see like smoke or fog coming out of it.
Yeah,
It's
and
either
one person sees that and starts running and knocks
Yeah.
over grandma and her 3 grandchildren,
Yeah.
and 18 people die because someone had smoke coming out of
it
their
was either something like that, or maybe they had dry ice sitting inside the ghost trap or something. You know, that
If
could be
you're at a
another thing.
booth, if you're at a booth,
Yeah,
you know, and you're presenting, like say you're the guy that makes this product, and you got a booth where you're selling the stuff, then I can see it, you know, you get approval, because they don't just let anyone sell stuff at conventions. You got to tell them what you're selling and get approved. But yeah, as far as just walking around and like it looks like you're firing off a fire extinguisher or something, yeah, that won't fly, man. No, in distress and people yelling fire, and it would make alarms go off.
but yeah,
It's the goggles. The goggles, I think, is the one thing you're missing. Not you, but I mean, if Hasbro was to complete the story as far as the full-on Ghostbusters outfit, they need the jumpsuit and need those goggles.
well, you know what a lot of fans are asking for, but it'll never happen. They want the slime blower from part 2, the big, what you're calling the upgraded proton pack.
Yeah, I just remember because only one of them had it, right?
There's 2 of those in the movie because Ray
There's
wears
2?
one and Winston wears one.
Okay.
Because that's what they used to slime the inside of Statue of Liberty.
Yeah, I remember it. I knew they didn't all have it.
Yeah,
Because I don't think they would all fit in the car.
well, it's that, and also they were experimenting with the slime they were gathering all over the city, and they positively charged it.
Yeah, okay.
So they only had enough for like the 2, but I mean that's the thing. It's like those suckers are so damn huge. Plus, I know one of my teammates has his own slime blower he built. That thing usually takes about 2 people to put it on. One to like put it actually on. You have the vest, right? The sucker's heavy as it is. Then you have 3 separate hoses to connect to the blower part itself. So the whole thing it's one of those things that a lot of times he'll just have it sitting at our booth for display. There's no way you're walking around all day at a con in that. No friggin' way.
It's tough. You got to be a trooper, and you probably have to weigh 80 pounds.
They're heavy, and I can't see Hasbro ever doing anything like that. Not in a million years, because just the shipping box alone would be huge as hell.
No, you never know, man. Like I thought my Razor Crest box was big until I saw it beside a Jabba sail barge box, and that it's not twice the size, but it's 1.5 times larger. And the Razor Crest, you know, they're like small appliances. Like there's microwaves are smaller than these now. And I remember my first microwave, you know, or my mom's first microwave when I was a kid, was probably $1,000 and was like the size of like a small Honda.
Oh, I believe it.
But that's cool, man. I'm glad. Not glad. I guess I am kind of glad that it got leaked because it's
Oh, yeah.
obvious.
I
It's
was
been obvious what it is.
when
with
I
their
saw.
logo,
Well,
fire on.
I mean the pins that you saw, like the No Ghost logo was like a tire with the fin of the Ecto. I mean, what
But
else could it
it was
be?
a fin of the Ecto 1. It was not the
Yeah.
fin of the Ecto 1A because there's no
Well,
caution tape on it.
well, no, it was just the wing of it. It wasn't the side of the car. It was just
Yeah, I
just the
guess it
wing.
wasn't big enough to show the white part.
So
But yeah, I know you're in. It's not something I would buy. I'm a Ghostbusters fan. I love all things Ghostbusters when it comes to their logos. I've always been a huge fan of the artwork.
oh yeah.
So it's kind of cool to see the artwork incorporated in two forms with the Ghostbuster 2 logo, right?
Yeah.
And the fact that they actually put that in a car, I thought was pretty genius. But they didn't do it for 3, did they? Or 4? Or
No. It's they didn't do that. I mean, for promotion, they had actually one of these days I should take a picture of my patch collection so you can see them.
Oh, they made a 3 one for
Well, no.
a logo, right?
No, someone did make a 3 logo, but it was never official because they never made a Ghostbusters. They never, fans did it. I mean, there's people who've done a Ghostbuster logo where he's flipping people off.
Yeah.
I mean, there's dozens of different ones. I mean, the Buffalo Ghostbusters were a chicken wing.
Yeah. No,
Ghost
I
holding
like
a chicken wing.
the fan logos and stuff like that.
I mean, for Afterlife, it was the No Ghost logo, but it was rusted, and you had like bolts on it.
Yeah, and then the Frozen Empire one.
I mean, the working title for the film was Rust City. So,
was it? Okay.
So it played into that, and it, the Ghostbusters being aged and no longer in business. So
it was a barn find.
Yeah. And
and the Frozen
and Frozen Empire had the frost on it. But I mean, like, and also they had more than one logo for that. For Frozen Empire, they also had a Ghostbuster logo, but it was a gear because that was because Winston, now a millionaire, Zeddemore Industries.
Yeah.
He was now backing the Ghostbusters. They had a whole research facility, and that's what they wore on their uniforms was a gear for engineering and research.
I don't remember, but I'm assuming there was a Zeddemore logo at some point.
Where is it?
Just like Stark has a logo, and
yeah. It's I actually have the pin. I have the pin I wear on my uniform.
Maybe
actually.
Wayne Industries doesn't have a logo.
Hold on.
Really.
Let me pull that up. I can go to GB Fans because they actually sell the pins there. We have like a go-to sales site called gbfans.com. Excuse me. Let me pull that up. Go to shop. Go to lapel pins.
So this is a privately owned website.
So this is they purposely sell pins and other merchandise to build proton packs or uniforms and all different stuff here.
Well, it's like what I do, but they're actually breaking laws.
They get away with it, and it's just like with the patches. If it's designed differently enough, and I don't know if GB Fans actually makes donations.
You got to make $10,000 off an item, and the first rule is you can't use any of their wording in your descriptions because that makes it searchable.
That's the Zeddemore Industries logo.
I knew there was one. Yeah.
Yep. It's kind of
sharp.
Like
it too. I do like it. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm a logo guy.
Are you?
I am, and I've had an idea for a while for a project and something I want to make, and it involves a 3D expert. And I finally reached out to one today, and I think he's too busy, so I might have to reach out to some other 3D printer nerds.
What was really cool was Millennium Workshop messaged me one day because he knew I was getting into 3D printing, and I was trying to like redo my logo. And I redid my logo into like a DD with like over a gear. And what he did was he said, "Oh, I sent you something." I was like, "Okay." So he sends me something. Let me just remove this. And he sends me a file so I could 3D print this.
Oh, so Rex knows how to do that stuff too, right?
Yeah. I mean,
that's not something that you're an expert at yet. Is the designing aspect of it?
Well, like I don't know enough to like take a flat image and design it yet.
Okay, because that's the part.
Yeah.
Like, if I could get the software for free to do that designing stuff, I would pick that up and I would learn that aspect of it. But not the sculpting part, like the guys who sculpt with a mouse now. Like, I don't think I could do that because I can't sculpt.
But like
with my hand to begin with.
But like you get to stand here and everything.
But yeah, that's something I can learn how to do is how to make that.
Now it wasn't colored.
3D.
It wasn't colored. I did that in the my printing software for Bamboo Labs, Bamboo Studio, so I could choose any colors I want.
That looks awesome. Nice work,
and
David.
This is a silver silk filament that I used on here. So I've been playing around with a lot of that stuff.
Have you used any filament? You mentioned you've used a clear filament, right?
I have a transparent filament, yes.
Have you used any filament that's more bendy? Rubber like.
I really haven't been doing anything like that because a lot of the stuff I want it to be strong. Because like that silver filament, I did like a little Doctor Who TARDIS cube here. It came out really well.
Yeah, and it's got a good shine to it too.
And
it's amazing. Every year it like doubles in quality. I find the 3D printing. Like it could be every 2 years, but it's like every time I turn on my computer now. Yeah, it looks
right here. It looks like metal, right?
Yep.
That's the silver filament I use because I needed a new barrel for my my Neutrona wand, the wand for the proton pack, and I printed this. I'm like, I did some test prints. I'm like, wow, this looks like metal.
Yeah.
I had a few people say, hey, what did you use to paint that with? I'm like, no, this is the plastic. This is not paint. But I love that, you know?
But what you can do is you can sand and primer that, and then paint it with a good chrome paint, and it would
really polish it up,
look like it was metal. Like, because I've seen people
give it like more of a polished look, yeah.
Like I've seen that zombie hunter in Australia. He's doing all his 3D helmets and stuff like that. But I've seen.
Oh yeah, he's helped me out a lot too.
He sanded more than it took to print. Like, and I know that for some of the items. Some of the items they turn out really well with how you rotate them on your plate. I know there's lots of tricks and tips, but to get the ultimate print, I've seen people take that 3D print and then mold it and cast it into resin and then sand that resin because it works differently. What the guys do in
sanding resin versus PLAs.
Yeah, what the guys do and girls, I'm not saying girls don't do it too, in the vintage Kenner Star Wars action figure community, because there's a lot of guys that do that now, 3D print Star Wars figures and all that stuff. And a lot of them will 3D print them or sell the 3D print files or ship them to a painter who's a really good painter. They'll paint them. So they have, deals with different people. But there's the people that mass produce them, so to speak. They'll take their 3D print, much like Hasbro or Mattel, as their concept, their prototype. And from that, will mold and cast into more of a sculpting material. So dental clay, a lot of these polymer type, I guess it's wax is what it really is, are good. They can add on and they can take away very easily without the sanding and stuff like that. And from that, they'll eventually 3D scan that and have a even smoother file with more. It's weird. There's a lot of different processes that go on now. And some people are utilizing the old school way, the wax sculpting way. But the way 3D printers are going now, a lot of these companies, Gentle Giant being in the forefront of the whole 3D print and scan technology, they kind of started all that stuff. And they're the pioneers of the 3D scanning aspect of it. That's why we see wrestlers' faces scanned and Ghostbusters actors and, different actors from Marvel so accurate because they literally first day on the set, they get scanned. And a year later, their action figures are out there. And it's just amazing, man.
It is. Now, we're going to wrap things up here. Thank you for coming on, Rick from Left Coast Graphics. because we
Yeah,
know
always a pleasure, buddy.
the left coast is the best coast, right?
Sure is. You should move.
You have anything coming up on your channel?
Oh, I've been trying to make videos for a couple days. I want to make a video on my Black Series Hammerhead because it's
Okay.
the best Black Series figure they've ever made. And then I got my new Darth Vader Hallmark ornament today, and I want to make a video on that, and because it's so awesome.
I have to open this up at some point.
Yeah, she's a beast, eh?
What I want to do is I want to try and put like a little LED light in the base, so I can light up the whole thing.
Yeah.
So,
and I'm excited for my Ghostbusters O-ring 4-pack. I hope that ships before Christmas because I want Christmas presents.
No, they said 2025.
We'll see if they start.
I would love it
if they're selling them in New York on Friday. I'm gonna try and get them.
I would love to get mine early because I pre-ordered their Ghostbusters Day at the Firehouse. Like, I'm such a Ghostbusters nerd. I pre-ordered figures while I was at the Firehouse that day. So it was the 40th anniversary.
I pre-ordered from GameStop and from Amazon, and I'll cancel who's ever slowest.
There you go. But I want to thank Rick for coming on. Archer saying great stream, so he was still hanging with us.
Awesome, man.
Next week's stream, I don't know what we're going to do yet. We'll find something to talk and commiserate about. We'll probably talk about the details, the finalized details of the Haslab next Tuesday, probably. So that is going to be interesting. We'll see if Rick's predictions come true.
What do you think, man? I think it's going to be a buy on tier.
We'll see if left Coast Adamus comes through. I mean, it considering
but
that
forget about all the Ghostbusters. They're going to finally announce Kenner Hammerhead. And if they don't, you know what, man? I might have to be throwing in the towel. I'm kind of serious.
Hasbro, are you listening? Hashtag Hammerhead. Let's make that a thing. We need
make
to
it happen, Mr. Stevie, please.
Hashtag Hammerhead.
Hashtag 2024 year of Hammerhead.
He says, yeah, you'll have details next week. Oh, I will have details.
Have fun, buddy.
But he's going to be in New York City. Him and Anthony, they're going to have a ball, I know. And of course, I know a few people who are going to be at the con, so we'll see what happens. It's going to be interesting. I want to thank Rick for coming on, Archer for coming through for very briefly. I want to thank everyone who came through the stream. I mean, we had Sleeping Collectibles up here. I mean, we had everybody. We had just everybody who came through. We had so many people. We had CB Hunts. CB was on a Twitch stream earlier today. We had Sleeping Course. We had Mython the Python. We had Mega Demon Collects. Captain Spaulding. We had, of course, Vern Oakhurst Studios. We can't leave him out. And you guys still do the toy duo or toy team every Saturday afternoon at 3 p.m. Eastern, right?
Yeah, 12 noon. And yeah, it's a lot of fun, man. I've been enjoying doing that. We're 85 episodes next week.
Cobweb Collector was here. We had Ramblin' Nerd come through the stream very quickly. We had Rolando, the multiversal moderator. We had Duffman's Diorama. We had David's Life come through, and actually David's Life is here. He's in Western New York. He's another YouTuber, but he does like more like casual, relaxing streams, like does like scenic stuff, does car shows and some other stuff. So he's actually a local guy here. Yeah, another Dave who's a YouTuber locally in Western New York. Go figure. But I want to thank everyone for coming through, and be on the lookout. I am trying to get a T-Mobile video out because I have some gripes, some commiserations about their policies. They're trying to force people into going to higher paying programs just so they can get decent deals when they upgrade their phones.
What, that's new?
Well, it's a little bit different than some of the other cell phone companies are doing. And so I'm actually doing because I like to do some tech videos every now and again.
I get it, because these iPhones cost $2,500 now.
Well, here's the thing. The plan that
I right now, I know what you mean, but it's always been the way. Like I pay, I think, $30 for my phone.
The plan I'm in, if I want to upgrade my phone, let's say I trade in this phone, I will only get $300 flat rate on the phone. Here's the thing. The phone, the trade-in value for the phone is $390. So if I go for the higher value, guess what? I can't use that towards the new phone. It goes towards my accounts to the monthly bill.
Yeah, they got to make money.
It'll be $390 there, but nothing towards a new phone. And then
you pay an extra $40 a month for 4 years to buy the phone.
But
on a bigger plan.
Their other plan, their Go 50, their Go 55 or Go 5G, whatever it's called. They have a veteran version. They have a military version. They have a first responders version, a plus, and then a next. If you're on any one of those, you can get anywhere between $600 to even $830 or even $1,000 in some cases off. But if you're in my plan, which is Magenta Plus, you only get the best you can do is $300 or what your phone value is. That's it.
Yeah, we paid double.
They're kind of forcing you, like,
you can pay $15 a month for a cell phone and travel anywhere in the United States and call and text everywhere. Unlimited data.
I was paying $19.
We don't have unlimited data at all in Canada. It's not an option.
Yeah, it's like this. I was paying $19 a month, but now for a new phone, it'll be like
triple. I paid triple, dude.
I mean, I've actually looked at
the cheapest in Canada,
and I'm looking at like, well, what if I go for an Android phone? Can I get something a little bit better than that? You know, it's like you're kind of damned if you do, damned if you don't. So it's kind of crazy.
Yeah, man.
Yes, I know. Ecto NJ is he's an Ecto. He actually has an Ecto 1 full 59 caddy replica. They've been working on a 1A from Ghostbusters 2. So I think it's him and a guy from the Ohio Ghostbusters. They've been working on it for like the past year and a half, building it. So that thing is going to be a beast because just like we saw, you know, it's going to look like this, but actually on the road.
Yeah.
And I've ridden in the regular Ecto 1 that Ecto NJ has or Ecto Tech has, and that thing is a beast. And man, does it turn on the curves on the man. It's you know, it's a fun thing. You gotta ride in an Ecto 1 at least once in your life. A 59 caddy. Yeah, it's especially we went to the con last year, New York City Comic Con. We arrived in the Ecto 1.
Nice.
Classic. So as a Ghostbuster, I mean, you can't ask for a better drop off than that. So, but we're going to go ahead. I know I said I was going to wrap it up, but we're going to go. We're going to sign off. Thank you, Rick, for coming on. I'm looking forward to maybe some teasers for Peacemaker's appearance in the Superman Legacy movie. Come on.
I think John Cena lives 20 minutes away from me now.
Does he?
Yeah, he's been spotted at the local liquor store driving a white Lamborghini.
So when are you and him going to be like buddies? Come on.
I've commented on a couple of his photos.
You know, make a Peacemaker helmet pin.
Comment on people's comments on Twitter and Instagram unless they got big boobs. He's a man. What do you expect?
Yeah, hey, you know, it's a thing.
Yeah.
But hey, maybe you need to design like a pin or something for him. You know.
Maybe, man. I'm bitter that they didn't film season 2 here in Vancouver, so I had like zero opportunity to be a bearded villain.
Okay. You'd be the perfect bearded villain. Come on.
Yeah, but they got to make it here in Vancouver like they did part 1 or season 1.
Okay.
All right, buddy. I'm going to feed you.
Okay.
All right, I got to go feed my cat before he eats me.
Before you eat too, right? Buddy.
Thanks, Dave.
Yep. Catch you later, man. Bye.
I've got an itch I can't scratch, I'm missing a piece that completes a whole part of me, an open wound scar to see. Everybody come here, gather round, welcome to the freak show, the best in town. What the hell's wrong with me? I don't get along with